Bum, bum, ba-da-ba-bum, bum, ba-da-ba-bum, bum,
Ba-da-ba-bum.
ba-da-ba-bum. We're back, everybody. It's Film Tangents. We got a very special guest this week for our Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith viewing. We got Lucas in the house, Jack's cousin. So what's up, Lucas? How you doing, man?
Welcome
I'm doing
on.
pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
doing pretty good.
But Lucas, last minute, kind of hopped on to this episode, just schmoozed his way on because he's a big, you're a big Revenge of the Sith fan, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty hard to not be. In my opinion, it's the greatest Star Wars movie of all time.
Whoa.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Better than
I mean,
Empire?
yeah, without a doubt. I wouldn't even say Empire is my second favorite. I would say A New Hope's my second favorite.
Dude,
Okay.
I'm a Return of the Jedi guy myself. That's such a niche pick, but I
Interesting.
love that.
Yeah, my dad says Return of the Jedi. He's more of a Return of the Jedi. I've always been an Empire
I'm
guy
an Empire
ever
guy
since I was a
myself.
kid.
Yep.
It's a good
Yeah,
movie.
but But Empire, yeah, 'cause Empire fucked me up as a kid because I watched them in release order of release. So
Yeah.
like
Hell yeah.
when my parents introduced me, it was like I first watched the original trilogy, and Empire fucked me up like as a 6-year-old kid. Like I remember Darth Vader at that age. Darth Vader just gives you like chills when he's on screen. Like I would actually get a pit in my stomach. I would feel my stomach knot up whenever Vader would come
Dude,
on screen and choke one of his officers.
big time. And then I
Yeah.
played, like the Quest 2. Like I don't know if your dad did it, Jake, but there was
Oh
the
yeah,
short Star Wars series where you go into VR and you're like next to Vader and
yeah,
like he walks in and he's just like massive, just
yeah.
towers over you. And it like gave me that same feeling where I was like, holy shit, like this isn't real. And I'm fucking intimidated by the presence of Vader because those movies were so fucking good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
It's
remember
it's so funny or real quick, Lucas. It's so funny that one of the first things Anakin did as Vader was give himself lifts, like give himself height.
Yeah.
Because Hayden Christensen is like 6 foot, 6'1" at the most, and Vader's like 6'8" or something. And it's like that's the first thing he said to Palpatine. He's like, we need to make these droid legs taller. We need to add some height to these.
I would do the same thing. I mean, who
Oh,
are
Yeah,
we
why
kidding?
not? Yeah, especially if I'm all burned up, I'd be like, well, I'm at least gonna tower over everybody. But
Oh, yeah.
what were you gonna say, Lucas?
Oh, I was gonna like add on to the Oculus thing. Jack, you remember the that scene? I think it was in the first game when like you have to like do like the training and you're like fighting against Vader.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's like it's crazy. That game was awesome.
That sounds really intimidating.
Oh, it definitely is. It's kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie.
I bet. No, I mean VR fighting is you don't realize how immersive it really is till you slap those goggles on. Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I played when Jack, you and I played Dungeons of Eternity that
Yep.
time. That was yeah, you just
Dude,
have
that
these like
game's
giant
sick.
spiders coming at you and shit. I mean, and these like skeleton warriors and demons. Man,
Dude,
Dude,
the
it's
craziest one is the craziest one for me where I really got fucking like I put the game down and I was like, I don't know if I can play this was the Walking Dead one. Cause
Oh
like
yeah.
Cause like you're back there, you start off. When you start off, you don't have shit. I have like a screwdriver, and I'm like having to take zombies out and like stab them in the face with it, and then use my other hand to like pull it out, and then it like
Yeah.
breaks, and I have nothing, and it's just like getting, and then like a swarm comes. I mean, it's just unreal. So
Oh
like
man.
VR stuff.
Well, yeah, because zombies is already intense enough. Like when you'd play COD zombies, on a console,
Oh
that's intense
yeah.
enough.
oh yeah.
Oh
Something
yeah.
about something about zombies, the way they just swarm you, they can come from any angle. Because it's not like you're running away from one thing or fighting one thing. You got to
Yeah.
fight this swarm of monsters. Any corner you come around, they could be at. you fight one horde and then you look behind you and you're like, oh shit, where'd these ones come from? You know, it's intense, man.
Were you
But
ever
yeah,
a zombies guy, Edward?
Not really, because when I was growing up, I didn't really do much COD, you know. But then the thing
Okay.
is that my biggest zombie experience happened the summer of 2021 when we were in Chicago, making a movie with our friend, like another Jake. And while we're there,
Well,
we were
yeah.
there for like 2 weeks just making this one movie. Excuse me. And every night would just be Call of Duty night. We would just play, like, I think it was like Black Ops 2.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, so we just
Oh
play
yeah.
we just play Black Ops 2 and just go ham, like just back to back to back. Like if we were like, I remember that time we were either playing just movies, just like shitty movies that we would put on, or playing COD, you know. And me and Aiden, shout out to Aiden and Langston, like the three of us got like really into it, just passing the controllers around, just getting it going and going and going. And Aiden was like insane. He was like insanely good, so he was always carrying whoever the other guy was, whether it was me or Langston. But yeah, that was my experience. But I didn't play it too much growing up, although I knew of it, but I didn't play it too much.
Dude, the Origins map. Oh my. Dad. Anytime you like you load up the map and that like cut scene happens and it's playing Avenged Sevenfold and like you're like going
hell
through
yeah.
like the whole thing, dude. It's so sick. I love that game so much.
I used to in high school, in like senior year, like I had a couple guys and we'd run like the Easter eggs on all the zombies maps.
Oh, yeah.
And then in Origins, you build these like staffs. There's like a
Yep.
lightning staff and like a fire staff and all these different things. And you have to get the parts and build them. So you're literally just like getting chased by hordes of zombies and you're just like shooting crazy shit at them.
Now,
There's
what's
like these-
Origins?
It was like a DLC map for Black Ops 2.
Oh, okay.
You probably just played the classic one where it's like you're in that town and there's like the lava
Or the
in the
farm,
middle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Transit.
Yeah.
Transit was crazy when you're on the freaking bus.
Yeah.
You go around to all the maps. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because I had Black Ops 2. So yeah, I did like the that farm one where there's like the lava river going through the middle.
Yeah.
That one was nice. That one was very Walking Dead-esque. Walking
You got
Dead
that like
season 2
pump shotty.
Yep, exactly.
That
Well,
Remington
that
went
was the best.
crazy.
Yeah, that was the best, man. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun being up with your friends late at night, especially like during the summer. You didn't have to get up for school and just blowing away some zombies. Oh, that was
Easy
awesome.
days. No
I know, man.
responsibilities.
I know.
I
Speaking of
miss it.
speaking of the old days, we're gearing up to watch Revenge of the Sith here.
Star Wars.
If you didn't already know, so I think with that we're just gonna run. We're just gonna jump right into it. We are watching, I believe, all on Disney Plus. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, for the listeners, this is the Disney Plus copy. I'm assuming it's probably the same running time as any other copy you can get your hands on,
It's
but
about
you can also
2
feel
hours and
free to
20
just
minutes.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours and 21 minutes. You can
Ooh.
also feel free to just listen in. Because we'll talk about the movie, but this is for you too, Lucas. Whenever we do commentaries, you can go into anything. We just like to keep it pretty light, so feel free to go into any topic you want. We don't necessarily need to riff on the movie the entire time. Especially during the Padme and Anakin scenes. I think we can, talk about some other stuff. But, so
Hey, man,
okay, so I'm
don't be
gonna
ripping into Padme.
yeah. Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right? It seems in your anger you killed her. Oh, spoilers! Spoilers!
Yeah. This is my first time watching this, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jack and I have great memories with this movie, dude. We used to watch this like whenever our families would get together and go on like a vacation or
yeah.
something. And we would be
hell
like,
yeah.
remember because it was PG-13, we always had to go ask our parents first.
They'd
we
be
were
like,
young when this shit came out. We were like, I was 7 years old when this came out.
Yeah, let me see on commonsense.com what they say about it.
That's what my dad did. There's like an alternative like website for that, like for like video games and stuff like that. And he'd be like, "Let me check this out first before I let you play." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
I know, man. Dude, I suffered through that too, dude. I couldn't play T games until I was maybe like 12, and then I couldn't play M games until I was like 14, I think. My parents didn't start letting me. So like I would go to, elementary school, kids would be like, "Oh yeah, I was playing Call of Duty and I was playing, this game or that game," and
GTA
I'm like,
5.
meanwhile, I asked my parents, yeah. Meanwhile, I asked my parents, I'm like, "Can I get this Cabela's hunting game?" And they're like,
Oh my gosh!
they're like, "Let's see," and they pull up and immediately. The first shot goes off and takes down like a muskox. They're like, "No, we can't. You're gonna think killing things is okay. We don't." But no, my parents were, they weren't like overly strict either. I didn't have some like like my parents weren't ultra. I feel like my parents were probably they were probably in like a pretty reasonable realm, honestly. Because then you'd have kids at like 9, 10 years old who were playing like Call of Duty World at War, and it was like, Jesus, I don't know about all that, man. But
There were these kids I tutored for a little while over like a summer because they did like summer school, and their son was probably like either 8 or 9, and he was playing like GTA and Call of
yeah,
Duty and stuff, and I'm like, dude, like I didn't play these games until I was like 14 or 15. Like, good
yeah.
grief.
Oh, same here, man. Dude, I'll talk a little bit more about it when we start during the commentary, but I saw a couple weeks ago Sinners in theaters, and I'm sitting like and my dad and I were sitting like in the aisle seats, and at one point like this 7-year-old kid just is like walking up the stairs, and my dad and I kind of just looked at each other like, what the
That's crazy.
it's
That's
like
crazy.
right in the middle of a vampire like erotic gory sex fornication scene. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I
The
was gonna say
same
I
thing
remember.
happened when my dad and I a couple years ago we went to see Evil Dead Rise, and which that movie's horrific. I mean, that Evil Dead movies. And we saw a family come out of there with like 3, 4-year-olds. I was like, what in the
That's
fuck?
crazy.
Are
That's
you
crazy.
out of your fuck?
They're just like, they won't remember it. It's fine. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. Meanwhile, the
No.
kids are probably like eyes massive, just like, what the hell?
Oh, dude, they looked shell shocked after the movie. We saw them. We saw them in the parking lot because we recognized them because we had seen them before. We were like, "That's them, dude!" Like, and the kids looked a little shell shocked, man.
Jesus.
Those kids looked like they had just returned from war. But
We should
Lucas, I think
probably get the
I
thing
cut you off
rolling.
there.
Oh no, you're good. My timing is awful. No, I was gonna say I remember when me and my dad went to go see Deadpool for the first time in theaters. I remember seeing like multiple kids under the age of 10. Like probably like 10 of them, and I was like, dude, like it was like Deadpool 1. Like probably the worst one when it comes
Hmm.
to you shouldn't bring your 10-year-old here. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
dude, you gotta be kidding me! Like, good lord.
yeah. Well, because Deadpool presents itself as like a kids thing.
Mhm.
It looks like it would be for kids. Like if you just watch the Green Band trailer. Um.
And the
Anyway,
whole persona is like childish, but in the name of being like
right.
like the worst, like vulgar version of childness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's get this rolling, guys. I'm gonna do if everybody's got their finger hovering over the play button, I'll do a
Mhm.
countdown from 5.
All right.
Maybe a few times since Edward's probably gonna fuck me up with his little with his bit.
I won't do it. I won't do it this time.
He's like, oh, 4 people, it's a little too dangerous to do a bit like that.
Yeah, it's like everybody, let's go. When he says 1, it's actually when he means that we start the movie. So we all go at 1.
No. So we're gonna go on go. So you guys we'll get the rhythm. We'll be as close as possible. So I'll be a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So when he says 1,
Um,
we go.
Right. Yeah. This is what he does. This is what he does every fucking time. All right. Everybody got their play buttons ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude.
All right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. And we got the everybody good?
Yeah.
We don't need to
Got
do a
the 20th
relaunch.
century
20th Century Fox.
Beautiful
Yep.
20th Century
20th
Fox.
Century Fox.
Ba-na-na-na,
Ba-na-na-na. Boom, boom, boom.
bum, 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 bum.
Man, I
We
used
got-
to love that intro.
Oh yeah, dude, I love 20th Century Fox. I think every time we do a commentary with the with a 20th Century Fox film, I say that. Edward can attest to that.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Episode 3.
Revenge of the Chef.
Revenge of the what?
Revenge of the
War.
Chef.
I read online.
That's a pretty good Tony Soprano right there.
I'm gonna be throwing some trivia around every now and then. I read that apparently he named this movie. This movie is supposed to kind of be a play on the third of the original trilogy. And this is new to me. I don't know if this is new to you guys or to the audience, but originally he was gonna name the third one "Revenge of the Jedi," and then he changed it to Return. What is it, Return of the Jedi, right?
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, because he was like, well, the Jedi should not be vengeful.
Revenge, yeah.
guys.
That kind of fucks up the whole thing if like Luke is vengeful.
Yeah.
It's interesting that all the titles, the prequel titles and the original trilogy titles kind of match up. Like A New Hope, The Phantom Menace, and then Attack of the Clones, The Empire Strikes Back. Like both titles are alluding to an attack. And then Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
As George Lucas would say, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
It rhymes.
Every stanza rhymes. And here we go, the epic space battle.
Fucking battleships are so badass in this time period. Like these to me are so much better than like the actual like beginning trilogy, like original. I love the little like Jedi fighters, the little like R2D2-esque motherfuckers that just like slide in there.
But yeah, they have like the beginnings of TIE fighters on them. Like you can kind of see the visual. He was really good with the visual language in terms of like you could see that the Republic ultimately gave way to the Empire because the Republic technology all resembles like an earlier version of the Empire's technology.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the prequels. Like on a design level, they're George Lucas was very meticulous.
Yeah.
He just needed someone else, I think, to help him with the screenplays, honestly. I think that was the big thing.
Yeah, and I think it's the separatist like style of like space stuff is just pretty cool too. Very different from anything else you see in Star Wars.
Yeah, me and my friends went to go see this in theaters. What was it, last week? And dude, this opening scene was absolutely insane. Seeing it on like that big of a screen with like the the speakers that they have in there, it was super immersive. It was amazing.
Oh, you went to the re-release?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went.
That's awesome. Yeah, my sister went to it.
We got there at like 6 because we were gonna go like to the 6 p.m. showing. And the 6 p.m., the 7 p.m., the 8 p.m., and the 9 p.m. showings were all full. So we had to like buy the tickets for the 10 p.m. showing and then like go like fuck off and do whatever for like 4 hours. And then like all like get back together at 10 to go see it. It was kind of funny.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This is where this is so funny. I'm gonna go help him out. This is where George Lucas had to remind the audience. He's like, "Oh wait, I gotta remember to tell them that Anakin's a good guy." So he's gonna go help an expendable clone. I was thinking about this. The whole clones thing is actually really messed up. The fact that they just clone people to just be soldiers.
Yeah, and it's like weird too, because it's like aren't they cloned after like Jango Fett essentially?
Yeah.
But then it's like by the time they get to like the original prequel, it like kind of makes me wonder like if they're like super diluted because like, Obi-Wan being able to do these Jedi mind tricks, like he would not be able to do a Jedi mind trick on Jango Fett himself. But like it makes you wonder like over time, like is the, over and over like cloning thing, does that like kind of dilute the original?
Yeah. I don't know. So how do you guys think this opening scene's holding up here, as far as modern against modern CGI?
I like the original CGI a lot more than the newer movies. And I don't know if that's just because the newer Star Wars movies suck,
Right.
but I feel like these look way better.
Yeah. Well, there's more heart in there. There's
Oh
more
yeah,
originality in the designs, is what it is.
without a doubt.
There's more heart in the prequels as a whole, but like in the original, as far as the designs go, there's way more. Edward, we were just talking about the CGI
Yeah.
in this versus like modern CGI.
I mean, this
and
movie
we were
still
talking
looks
about how
good.
Oh, we can't. You're muted, Edward.
This movie still looks good to me, honestly.
I think
It
so
does,
too.
man. It really does. Everything looks solid.
That's actually being
The
like.
first.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I remember there being a few shoddy
Oh yeah.
things in those as far as like the CGI went, but
The end of Attack of Clones, though, like when they all go into that arena, oh my god.
the Coliseum scene kind of saves that movie a little bit
Yeah, it
because
really does.
Like there's been a little bit of like a reassessment of like old CG, like 2000 CG.
Yeah.
Because there's some instances like with this movie, where or like famously people always praise like the Pirates of the Caribbean 3, the one like 2 and 3, the ones with the octopus guy with Davy Jones.
right.
Because of like how like meticulously done it is, like how much attention to detail and like effort went into that CG. Because now CG is, funnily enough, now CG is like so sloppy. Like if you watch a movie like Black Panther, like the first Black Panther, for instance, like that movie was dated on arrival. That movie looked like a fucking PS2 video game,
Yeah.
And that's like a
it did.
2016 like movie or 2017. I forget what year the movie came out. But there was like a level of like meticulousness and like detail that went into these movies because they were trying to make the CG as timeless as humanly possible because they knew that they were kind of fighting against the waves of time.
Yeah.
So because of that, it kind of still stands. Like I mean, looking at these guys and fighting these little robots, like it still stands. Like
Yeah, it's not bad.
yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, CG now, CG has kind of gotten worse, and that's why they've made. I think that's a part of the reason, maybe why they've made more movies these days tongue in cheek, like kind of goofy, because they're like, oh, well, then that'll hide the fact that the CGI sucks. There's like modern movies. There's something weird visually going on with these modern films. Like speaking of Ryan Coogler, you mentioned Black Panther. I mentioned before I saw
You watched
Sinners
yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and like honestly, man, when I went in, oh, here he is, dude. Let me put
There he
Sinners
is.
in
There he
the
is.
back burner, dude, because I'll get to it. We gotta talk about Grievous.
Oh,
So
what
for
a
my money,
fucking
He's so cool.
legend.
Grievous is my favorite Star Wars villain.
Yeah.
He
Really?
kind of sucks in this movie, but I mean, besides Vader, obviously. But he kind of sucks in this movie. But then if you watch the two Clone Wars series that they did,
Oh.
He's better than
he's a
Yeah, 'cause in
badass.
this movie he gets, as the kids say, low diffed. He gets handled.
Yeah,
And it's the
dude.
second movie when Kenobi goes after him, right? In Attack of the Clones. I mean that fight's awesome.
No, he's
Or is
not in
it-
Attack
that's
of the
this one?
Clones.
This is the first
Oh,
one, right?
That's this one.
That's this one.
Yeah.
I like when Kenobi goes after him in this movie.
See, that's the issue with the prequels, particularly like, well, pretty much all of them. Is you don't really get to know any of the villains. Like the first movie, Darth Maul is this silent ninja, and then he gets killed. In episode 2,
Yeah, they all kind of suck.
Count Dooku shows up randomly at the end with barely any character development, and he
Fights
gets
Yoda.
killed at the beginning of this movie. And then Grievous, it's like he just kind of twirls his metaphorical mustache and runs away, you know, and then like at the very end, his very last scene, he whips out some lightsabers and is kind of threatening, but it's too late. It's like too little, too late.
Yeah.
You know, where
I
it's like
can see that.
Look at their silly ass jump.
I said, dude, the attention to detail in this movie is just crazy. And it's probably why it's my favorite one.
Yeah, I'm surprised how good this looks, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that
I'm
part
looking
of
at
it
it
is
and,
like,
and I'm like, this looks pretty good. Like that scene
Yeah.
with where the droidicas were firing at them, that looked great.
I think that's like something that they really lean into is like you don't need the CGI to be that insane because like they're
No.
very primitive, like the way that the droids are. Like they really lean into that, and like it doesn't have to be some crazy CGI.
Yeah.
Or sometimes these days with like movies, they try to do so much more CGI where it's like if used in the right instance, like you don't really have.
Yeah,
to.
I think I hit the nail on the head though, because I think that's really what it is, right? When you look at a movie like this, like the CGI is not mind blowing, but it's like like purposeful. It's like they understood, you know, like you look at these robots and there's they have layers of like dirt and dust, like they all look scrappy and kind of like, you know, like they've been around, but there's also something about the CGI in this movie in particular that is not trying to say like, look at how believable this is. It's almost like inviting you to just accept it on its own terms. Like this is not ultra believable CGI, but it's really polished. There's a lot of work and detail that went into it, and it exists in a way that feels organic in this world. And I think that's what's interesting. It's like it's grounded, even if it's not realistic, and that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's very true.
To give some
I
props
love
to
this. I love this fight right here, man, with Dooku.
Oh,
Look at his ass. sitting there, dude.
I think it really shows off how like the Dooku lore of just him being like the ultimate duelist, and it's just really cool seeing like him match up against like, you know, Qui-Gon teaching, you know, he learned from Qui-Gon teaching Kenobi teaching Anakin, like seeing that like master versus like disciples.
Mm-hmm. I love that. He's like, Sith Lords are a speciality. It's like he fucked you guys up at the end of the last movie. What are you talking about? Dooku really is a badass. Like when you watch Clone Wars too, he just takes on multiple people all the time. Like he really was a great villain.
Dude, he's
in
old.
in the Clone Wars series. Yeah, man.
Can you imagine this motherfucker in his prime? Like, be dangerous.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
I think it's hard to make a case for anyone else's, but I feel like his lightsaber is probably easily my favorite.
The curved
Oh, yeah, the
lightsaber.
Dude,
curved-
it's
curved hilt,
the cunning blade, dude. It's so sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it is cool.
And I know I said I hated the newer movies, but dude, Kylo Ren's lightsaber is pretty fucking sick.
It's pretty sick. They knew it. Like
It's all right.
Like
I think it's
when
a
you
little
watch the trailer
gimmicky.
and he you know, like does, you know, he like pulls up his lightsaber and it has those like two sides going, like making it whatever. Like his lightsaber is cool as fuck. They do it in the trailer. They put it in the trailer. It's like, oh, look at this fucking cool ass lightsaber. I think Ren's lightsaber is pretty cool. I agree with you.
Well,
Lucas.
and
All
the
right.
reason
I don't like how it crackles.
I
It's
like
kinda-
that cracks.
I don't
See,
know.
that's what I was going to talk about. The reason that I don't know if y'all know, the reason that it's like it one doesn't look like a fully formed lightsaber like Dooku's does, and the
Oh, here
reason
it
that it
goes.
makes
Here it
the
is.
noise.
Here it is. Oh,
Yep.
oh
Yeah.
Ooh.
dude. Sorry, I had to cut you off. I love
Oh, no,
that
you're good.
moment, man.
Oh yeah. No, it's
And
sick.
this is a great visual with the blue and red lightsaber, and at a crossroads, like Anakin is at a
Oh, yeah.
crossroads. Here it comes.
Kill him
Here's your
now.
line, Edward.
Do it.
I shouldn't.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And he does it.
The head roll.
I love how Dooku is just like once his hands are cut off, he's just suddenly a helpless old man. It's like it's over, dude. You're done. But Lucas, you were talking about Kylo Ren's lightsaber, right? And it's because of the crystal, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
why
it's
it's
'cause it's a
cracked?
shattered crystal. Yep, yeah, it's shattered. It's I'm trying to think
Yeah.
of the reason why it's shattered. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with, his parents, obviously. And the way that he obtained it, it was very forceful and it didn't like really come to him, which kind of like reminds me of like the whole Harry Potter thing, like the freaking wand chooses you kind of
Yeah.
situation. I feel like it's very similar when it comes to the lightsabers, and he like just kind of like forced it upon himself, which is I think why it's not not typical or normal when it comes to the rest of the lightsabers in the movies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's someone else who's in a very similar position. I think because earlier we were talking about it, Jack. I think it's Treya. I think Treya's lightsabers are all shattered crystals as well, if I'm
Yeah,
remembering correct.
I think so. The fact that
She's super cool.
yeah, me and Lucas were talking prior to this about like there was like an idea of there being like an old Republic Revan film. I don't know if like either of you, Jake or Edward, ever like played or know about like the Knights of the Old Republic games that used to be on like Xbox and
Kind of familiar with it
I'm
in
familiar with it,
terms
but I
of
never,
the
I never played
lore.
them.
It's like the Sith. They had more than two back then, right? And
yeah, they were like the ultimate Sith lords, really. Uh, Revan and Malik, who used to kind of be Jedi Knights, and they go into like a Mandalorian wars where they're trying to fight off the Mandalorians because the Mandalorians are just trying to just take everybody for what they're, take everybody's planets and just totally invade and expand. And that they kind of go out into, try to combat that and end up, kind of being corrupted and going to the dark side in pursuit of power, being some of the most like powerful Sith lords.
that's wild.
Would you say that's a good synopsis, Lucas?
Yeah, that's. I would say that that's pretty accurate, and I would add on the fact that I would put them in probably top five, especially Malik. I mean, obviously Revan is extremely powerful, especially having the technique of both sides. Because obviously Malik does too, but I feel like Malik is easily one of the most powerful Sith lords in all of Star Wars. Just because, I mean, he's basically a an older version of like Star Killer.
Yeah.
Having and because Star Killer's Vader's apprentice, and which I mean he's definitely up there as well in terms of especially force use
Raw
as a
force
force
power.
user.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he's like ripping planets and like ships out of the sky like it's nothing. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I would say
Activate
that's a
the
pretty good
ray shields.
the ray shields.
Why doesn't Grievous just leave them in this thing? He takes them onto Grievous is an idiot. They portray Grievous as an idiot. Like he takes them onto the command bridge. It's like, why would you do that? Grievous? What kind of general are you?
I said Grievous is just a cockroach, man.
I know, man. They made him more badass in the Clone Wars, the couple Clone Wars
Mhm.
series.
Yeah. I love how abused R2 gets. I know that probably sounds really bad, the way that I just said that out loud. But I mean, he just gets. I mean, throughout all of the movies, man, he just gets like freaking tossed around and abused like he's like garbage.
He
It's
really
so funny.
does.
I'm pretty sure this is like a pretty typical question when it comes to Star Wars. But like, what are y'all's takes on like like the what if Anakin Skywalker doesn't turn to the dark side? Do you think he probably would have become as him being the chosen one, like the most powerful Jedi in all of existence, or do you think that he probably wouldn't have lived up to that standard?
Seems like you would have, because from what I understand, Anakin's pretty powerful. Like like what kind of held him back was just being put in the Darth Vader suit, right? That whole like being basically handicapped at that point. Because like
Yep.
even if he became Vader but didn't get hurt on Mustafar, I'm pretty sure he would have killed Emperor Palpatine rather quickly. But yeah, dude. No, I think Anakin would have. Yeah, I think he would have. He probably would have taken over ascended to the highest rank in the order or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
kind
would
of
have
my
been a Jedi
view of it.
Master.
That's like
I
what the tragedy is supposed to. That's part of the whole tragedy of it, right? It's like his
yeah.
whole potential. Keep
Well,
the ship
and there's
in
like
orbit.
there's also like fan theories that like the suit that Palpatine makes him, being a suit that's like made essentially to keep him they could have made him a much better suit,
Yeah.
but keep him in that state of suffering so he can tap into that anger for his power, almost as like a punishment for not
Yeah.
fulfilling his potential.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you
Yeah,
talking?
like
What suit are you
a
talking
tab.
about?
We're talking about Vader's suit. Like that's part of the lore is that
That Palpatine gave him
made the suit
a
shitty,
gimp suit to make himself to make himself.
we pretty much because it like to make him just to make him weaker and have him basically essentially put him in constant pain so that he's pissed off all the time. I will say, Emperor Palpatine, you lost quite a bit of your subordinates because of that. You had a bad retention rate in the Imperial office because of that. Because Vader choked out a lot of dudes
Yeah, he really did.
because of all that. Because of how painful you made the crotch area of the Vader suit.
Oh, see, that's the other thing, man. When the hell does he use the bathroom?
That's a
What'd you
trick.
say?
That's a trick. He doesn't.
Yeah, he just like, holds it in.
It's like his.
Goes to like a void.
He just never uses
The amount of lore for Star Wars is insane. Like it's honestly a little too much. Like people will make they'll make video essays on 5-second moments in some of these movies, and it's like, all right, enough. Like they're like, oh, what Count Dooku was thinking, in the 2 seconds before Anakin killed him. It's like, oh my god, like they do, man, and it's like
Gotta
what?
make a living, dude.
It's like it's kind of a cope though for the fact that like these prequels don't really speak well enough for themselves, honestly. It's like you have to go back and write in all of this lore to explain away everything and to deepen everything when it's like these movies should have stood on their own 2 feet. Not to bash I don't want this to turn into like a Revenge of the Sith bashing, but it is flawed, and yeah, I don't know. I think the whole like sandbox aspect of Star Wars has become a little bloated. And when I say sandbox, I mean the fact that people can just kind of plug in new stories.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, man. Like, when does it end? And there's got to be a
yeah.
lot of contradictions in there,
Yeah,
too.
for sure. Well, because at this point, it's like, what's even canon, Because it's like, hasn't a bunch of shit just been like, retroactively being like, this is not canon anymore? Like, hasn't...
Yeah, Legends. Lucas mentioned Starkiller. Starkiller's not canon anymore. He's Legends now.
Yeah,
because they essentially they split the timeline off when they did the shitty sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Which like the sequel trilogy was so bad. It's like, man, who even considers that? Like, I don't know, man. Those don't even feel like Star Wars movies.
No, they're not. They're their own thing.
They're like Marvel. They're like Marvel Star Wars.
Yep.
They don't even feel like Star Wars. Oh, here's the man, the myth, the legend's about to walk up, I think, right? Isn't he in the crowd? Jar Jar?
He is, isn't he?
Oh,
Darth
Dear
Jar Jar?
God.
Darth
Jar
Jar Jar.
So here's another thing I was going to say. This whole like first 20 minutes with the character development they're doing between Anakin and Obi-Wan and their relationship and their misadventures and hijinks, they should have done that in the first two movies.
Yeah.
They're like making up for lost time. Again, it's like Revenge of the Sith, some of the issues with Revenge of the Sith are unique to the movie itself, but some of them are like too little too late kind of things. You know?
Yeah.
Like Count Dooku's death in the beginning wasn't bad. It just was too little too late because of how shitty episode 2 was. You know, it's like
Yeah.
that's where a lot of like Revenge of the Sith is actually kind of better in a vacuum than it is as like a sequel, if that makes sense.
There's Samuel L. Jackson, dude.
I was about to say that's like a contender for favorite lightsaber. That purple saber.
The purple saber he's got.
Yeah, man.
It's funny to me when I think about
awesome.
how that went about. That he just asked George Lucas, like, "Can I have a purple lightsaber?"
I love how Jar Jar doesn't even have any lines, and I don't think he has a line in Revenge of the Sith.
I hope not. I don't want to.
They kind of they tapped out in
chest.
Revenge of the Sith. They were like, all right, but we still got to have him walking around, like doing stuff.
Gotta have him doing those freaking like looks around, like just
Oh,
looking clueless and lost.
Here we go. Here we go.
There's Padme.
I love. They're supposed to have a secret relationship. It's like
It's right
you
there. It's
guys
like
are
so blatant. It's like so blatantly obvious.
We're behind it. We're behind a pillar.
I know, man. That's so funny. Shouldn't Anakin have some like sex tunnels or something?
Anakin should ask, what is it? What's the long one? C-3PO. C-3PO, just stand there. It's like, block us with your body. So nobody can see us.
C-3PO is like, oh, you don't. I have seen things that will. I'll tell you what. C-3PO, let us see.
Your memories.
You have recordings, right? You record all your memories.
You wipe your mind.
I had C-3PO sitting in a cuck chair while like stuff happened. And he just recording it.
It's like they use C-3PO specifically
God,
for those
she's
purposes.
pregnant.
Yeah, he's literally just a freaking camera.
It's like, stand right there, C-3PO. Get the angle right. Get the angle right. Don't move.
That's actually the most hilarious theory that C-3PO was made just to be like a just porn camera.
R2's in the corner, just like, whoa,
Now we have to assign new meanings to the letters and the number. We have to assign new meanings to C-3PO. And C, I guess, should be cock.
Cock, yeah.
Cock
Cock or
3PO.
cock? Cock 3PO.
Definitely cuck. Definitely cuck.
Cuck 3 penis operator.
Oh, jeez.
Because that's the thing about like the
C3 Penicio.
Penicio.
Here comes Grievous. This is him, I think, right?
Pretty sure.
the cockroach.
General Kenobi. Did you guys
No,
know
it's-
that? I don't know if you had this in your trivia, Edward, but Gary Oldman was supposed to play Grievous
Really?
at first, but then some like just audio technician anonymously submitted a fucking audition.
Like an audio
and,
recording
He
of?
got the part. Yeah.
Really? That's how that
Matthew
happened.
Wood.
Huh.
Mhm. Can you imagine how different General Grievous would sound as Gary Oldman? He'd be like, Kenobi, you're a bold one. I've been trained to your Jedi by Count Dooku. Be a very different performance.
It would be quite different.
I think you went a little Tom Hardy there. I'm not gonna lie.
You did go a little
I got
Tom
resemblance
Hardy,
of
that's
Hank.
I'm
I heard,
notorious
I
for
heard
that
some
impersonation. I'm known for that impersonation by the 20 people who listen to this podcast.
We were shitting on Vader for his suit, dude. Grievous, like his like endoskeleton, I guess is what you would like kind of call it, sucks. Like his heart is just like out in the open and like fresh air. Like someone could literally just walk up behind him and just grab it and just kill him like on site.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense.
Oh
The
god,
Magna
this
Guards are more
dialogue,
well
man.
built than him. On God, I always thought the Magna Guards were awesome, dude. With their
Oh
little
yeah,
like,
they're sick.
taser like things, whatever they're called, staffs, like the double-ended like laser shit.
Yeah, dude. A little bit more trivia for you. The Magna Guards were actually a potential design for Grievous,
That makes a lot of sense.
but they
Yeah, it does make sense.
this dialogue
Jack,
is.
do you remember?
Oh my god, it's what are they even saying?
Lucas's expertise, dude. Dialogue.
Yikes!
Understanding
What
humor.
was that scene?
Here's the bad dream. Little did he know it was his fault.
Yeah, right.
I always liked that, the whole idea of I mean, it's really cruel though, the whole idea that Anakin his premonitions about Padme dying were really him murdering her.
Killing
It's like,
Yeah,
oh
it
my,
is pretty messed
holy
up.
shit, dude. Oh my god. It really is so messed up. It honestly gets into like some weird free will shit, if you think about it, but yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like the thing is with the prequels, like especially Revenge of the Sith, it's like, man, the outline is there. Like if George Lucas just did the outline and had someone else write the screenplay,
Yeah.
you know,
Which is
and
funny
it
because
put
wasn't
good
that
dialogue? Like
wasn't that the
good, you know,
case for
just-
like the original ones? Like the original ones,
It
like
was.
I think he wrote the first one, but it was like with his wife at the time, and then the second one he didn't even
Exactly.
write it. It was just a different person that wrote it. Like the director of the second one, I think, wrote the second one.
Yeah, he just did the story.
Yeah, exactly.
the,
And then when he came back
The
for the third
Wikipedia
one,
summary.
yeah, when he came back for the third one, it was still like him and his wife, like his wife like assisting him. And then by this point, he wasn't with her anymore, I guess, and he was just going like, "Well, I can do it. I'm gonna prove my ex-wife that I can do this on my own."
I'm gonna show
I'm
her.
gonna show her. I don't need her.
And to this day, people are still saying I don't like sand, and
Yeah.
she had the last laugh.
She
Dude.
did have the last laugh. Yeah, Lucas is not. Lucas is like a guy that he's like one of those people that just has like he's like great ideas guy, but he's
Right.
not.
Exactly.
But funnily enough, like not only he's a great ideas guy, but I think he's also like a good like at least like a decent like visual director. Like you know, like he like these movies. I think he executes them really well. He knows what he wants. You know, like he knows that for a shot like that with Anakin, he knows that he wants this. You know, medium shot with all the spaceships like flying around in the background. Like he has a very like I feel like he has a vision and he knows how to execute his vision, you know. He's just not very good at anything else. He's not very good at anything
Yeah.
else.
He's good at rhyming.
You'd be a rapper,
It's like
dude.
poetry. It's like yeah. Remember in those interviews, it's like poetry. They rhyme.
George Lucas should have been a rapper.
Every stanza rhymes.
What
He's
would
trying
Trying to
without a
spit
doubt.
some bars.
what would have been George Lucas's name, dude? If George Lucas was a rapper, what would be his name?
Georgie Porgy.
Lil George.
Lil George.
This is so funny right here. It's like Yoda can't figure out that Anakin is like completely in love with Hot Pants, Natalie Portman.
Hot pants.
He's just like,
You know, like again, like
Or
this
something.
scene, like he had a vision with this scene. This is a very kind of like striking scene, you know.
yeah, it is good with the light coming in.
Yeah.
It's like a confession room, really.
Yeah, it really is.
yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Sin you have.
Sinned you have.
I love
Let her
that.
die.
I love that. He's like, I won't. And by I love that, I mean it's fucking hilarious. He's like, I won't let these visions come true, Master Yoda. And Master Yoda's like, oh, I think this kid's okay. I think he just needs a little guidance. It's like this guy shouldn't be in the Jedi Order. the amount of red flags Anakin gave the Jedi in these prequels. He's like stomping around like, "Wah, I should be a Jedi Master."
That's the
I was
part
about
I
to
can't
say,
wait
it's why
for
they
in this
didn't make him a
movie.
master.
And then they're all just like, "Well, I guess he just needs a little bit extra training." It's like, no, this guy is like a future serial killer. It's like you should not. You should kick this guy out of your order. He's not a monk like you guys are. He's has a wife. She's pregnant. Like this is a guy who just wants like sex and power. This is
He has
not.
a
This
wife.
is not. This guy is not. Does not fit into your monastery.
That's the
He has
weird
a
thing
wife
when like
that-
the. Go ahead, Lucas.
Oh no, I was just gonna make a joke about how he has a wife that he met when he was like 5.
Yeah, I know.
Oh god, that age gap is crazy.
Yeah,
He
in
was
that
like a
first
child.
movie. Yeah, in that first movie, he's a kid and she's like a queen or whatever.
Dude, talking about that stuff, we have a new pope, man.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, we have a new
Do we
pope.
now?
It's been elected.
Yeah,
conclave is
American
over.
Pope,
An American pope, that's right.
the
I said people
first
were
American
complaining that
Pope
he's not-
ever.
Whoa.
Mhm.
That shot was so weird.
Wait, what shot? I probably missed it at this point.
Him and Palpatine were just standing shoulder to shoulder, not talking for like 10 seconds. It looked like Palpatine was like thinking about kissing him or something.
So,
And then after 10 seconds, it's like after 10 seconds, George Lucas had to say action twice. He's like, did they not hear me? Action.
Meanwhile, if you cut into Palpatine's head, he's going like, "Do it, kiss him, do it,
Do it. Yeah.
go for it, Palpatine, kiss him, do it." Oh, jeez.
What do you guys okay. What's what do you think is the best part of Revenge of the Sith from going off of memory?
Kenobi,
I can think of-
Anakin duel.
That's the
my
only thing
favorite
that can
part.
come to mind. That's the only thing that comes to mind to me. Like that's like the most memorable part of this movie, for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say either that one or this might be a little, ruthless, but I don't know if you guys remember the scene when the kid is just standing there and it's like dark, and then all of a sudden, Anakin's lightsaber turns on, and then it just pans away. Dude, that 3 seconds is just like engraved in my head. It is. It's obviously it's a terrible thing, but like it is like such a cool shot.
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
just- it's something that I will never forget. It's amazing.
Dude, look at Samuel. L.
Grievous's like vehicle too. His little like freaking weird ass like vehicle that Oh.
Yeah. That
I
thing's
don't even know
cool.
how to describe it well, but it like freaking crab walks like sideways, like in some like while he's like drifting around corners. It's just so cool.
Yep. Oh yeah, that
That
whole
chase.
scene whenever. Yeah, I would say that's that whole scene whenever like Kenobi's on like that freaking like green like I don't even know what that thing is called. It's like that dragon thing. Like
Yeah.
that like monster like chasing Grievous while he's on that like ship is just crazy. It's so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of good there's a lot of great moments in this movie. What?
What situation?
He's got a spy on the Chancellor.
I say the whole relationship between Anakin and Palpatine like just reminds me of like a teacher's pet kind of situation.
It's very disturbing. It's very. Honestly, that was one of the coolest parts of the not just the prequel trilogy, but the whole 1 through 6 movie saga is the relationship between Vader and Palpatine. How you have this guy Palpatine who, when Anakin was very, very young, like 10 years old, basically started grooming him to become a Sith. You know,
Yeah.
and it really is like, it's very disturbing. You
It
know,
is.
because over the course of like 10, 15 years from Phantom Menace through Revenge of the Sith, it's like he you know, develops this mentor relationship with him, you know, is like becomes like a father figure to him, and then ultimately they become this very just toxic kind of Sith master apprentice, and they have that kind of dynamic going to the point where I think in like one of the comic books, Palpatine as Emperor sends an assassin after Darth Vader just to test him. Like it's just it's like such a and then of course how it ends is incredible too in Return of the Jedi, where Vader finally sort of breaks free of this toxic ass, you know, kind of realizes like this guy is not my friend at all. This guy's like torturing my son, and like this is this is awful, and kills him. It's very disturbing actually. But I think that was one of the big kind of wins of the whole Lucas saga, I guess, was that whole dynamic between them.
Yeah, I would agree.
There's so much like exposition
this
in these movies.
Oh, dude, this I was saying the same thing. This dialogue is so bad,
Like
man.
it's somewhat there's so much exposition.
You're
in
sounding
this
like a
movie.
separatist. This is like how like George. It's almost like George Lucas asked ChatGPT like how a
He had a time machine.
how. Well, it's like he asked like their dialogue right now, the specific topic they're discussing. It's like George Lucas asked ChatGPT how democracy falls and how a dictatorship starts, and then just like wrote that into the characters' dialogues.
ChatGPT, what is fascism?
Yeah. What is fascism?
Well,
ChatGPT,
George,
what is Hitler? What's a Hitler? Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I don't even know like what the Clone Wars is supposed to be about anyway. It's like the separatists just wanted to trade freely without the Republic's taxes or something.
I wonder what that would. I wonder what that would resemble.
Ah. Okay, this is the fucking Darth Plagueis scene.
He's
Anakin, come
cool.
closer. That's so
Come
funny. He's like,
closer,
Anakin's
Anakin.
3 inches away from his face. He's like, yes, Anakin, come closer.
Come closer.
Again, you
I
cut to
know
you
you're
cut to
already-
the internal thoughts of him, and he's like, "This time, do it, kiss him."
Let's do it.
He like puckers up. So, what did you want to talk to me about, Chancellor? Our intelligence tells us that something.
I love how like Anakin is like the most like just liable to just like being deluded by being flattered. Like that's like the number one thing to like sway him is just like you should be that guy. You've earned it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just read my mind, dude. I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's like, Anakin, do you not see that he's just like completely manipulating you? He's just sitting here like, the Jedi should have put you on the council and made you a master and to go fight General Grievous.
I wonder why they're planning to betray you, bro. Maybe they know that you smell funny.
Yeah, I know, right? How have the Jedi not figured out in 15 years that Palpatine is a Sith Lord? I think I don't think George Lucas should have done this whole angle of like trying to show how democracy falls and fascism happens. I think that should have been more of a background thing, honestly.
Yeah, you think so?
I think this should have just been purely a character study. I think that could have just been a background thing because he was trying to sort of do both. He was like, "This is how a man falls, and this is how democracy falls," and it's like I don't know. You kind of didn't execute on either one. Poor Lucas, he's like, "Fuck, why did I come on this podcast?" Everybody, Jake's shitting on this thing.
Shit, my favorite movie with a poster.
No,
Well, I
no,
mean-
I do. I like Revenge of the Sith. I just think it's, it's very flawed. I think George Lucas went a little
Well,
nuts with a lot
this
of
is a
things.
good. I mean, for me, and Jake, you know this. I don't know how much. I don't know about you, Jack, but I have no emotional connection to these movies. I didn't grow
Yeah.
up
The
with
Star
them.
Wars at all?
Yeah, no, I didn't grow up with them. Like,
Damn.
I didn't grow up with any of these movies. Like when I was a kid, the movies I grew up as a kid are like the Spider-Man like trilogy and stuff like that.
Yeah, those were part of it too.
I didn't know about these movies. Like when I was growing up, like they were in theaters and nobody gave a shit. But this is me. This is growing up in the Dominican Republic. So when these movies came out, I have a minor recollection. I think I was like 6 when these movies came out. Like when this one came out, anyway. And I remember that nobody cared. Like the first movie I went to the movie theaters to watch was like the SpongeBob movie. So like nobody cared. Nobody introduced me to these movies when I was a kid. And at some point, eventually, when I moved into this country and people, I would see nerds kind of talk about it. I was like, what is this about? What is this Star Wars thing? So so then I realized like, oh, it's a big thing, I guess, here in the US.
Yeah.
So when I watched them, I watched these movies like the summer before college, like the summer before I went to like UNCSA. I watched these movies, and I was just
That's crazy.
and I was just again, I came into it with no emotional connection
You're
to
probably
them.
baffled.
I just went into these movies just being like, I guess these are movies that people like. Let me take a look at what this is. And for me, because I have no emotional connection to these movies, I don't give a fuck. Like, there's no part of me that feels like I have to be nice to them. To me, they're just kind of like not great, not very great. Except for the old ones. Like the old ones are all right, and then these ones are kind of bad. That's my perspective. I don't really care too much for these movies.
It's funny, man, because like I have a very like I would say like watching these movies at 6 years old, like I have a very long, as just someone who grew up in America, same as Jack probably, like and Lucas, like we, it's like you grow up on Star Wars. It's like you watch Star Wars as a kid. I watched the
yeah.
original trilogy. I watched prequels. And then it's like you play the video games.
Yeah, I don't have that experience.
I think I'm at your level, honestly, at this point in my life, despite all of that, Edward. Despite all of it, I'm kind of at your level, Edward, where I don't worship it. Like I don't even feel I don't feel like a certain way about them to any large extent. I would say the first thing I think of is like I love Darth Vader as a villain.
Yeah.
In like the original trilogy.
I don't even have that.
Darth
I don't even have
Vader-
that appreciation for Vader. Like I don't even have that appreciation for him. It's funny that for me, my first introduction to this movies was Family Guy. I watched like the Family Guy spoofs of these movies before. Before I
So you
watched
saw
movies.
Stewie Vader?
Yeah, I did. But that's like the interesting thing for me that I just don't have that. I don't have that appreciation for these films. Like I have like a film historical appreciation for them, and that's it. Like I have an appreciation for them for like the place that they have in history, how they kind of popularized these concepts and these ways of telling stories, and how they kind of brought all these things in there. But it's like before I even watched these movies, I had seen spoofs of them, and I knew what the plot twist was. Like I already knew everything, and I don't even have I don't have reverence for these characters. Like I don't have reverence for the films or for the characters. I don't care about Vader like that. Like I really don't. Like I hope that this is like a refreshing POV, like point of view for some people in the audience that don't have that relationship with these films.
Yeah. I'm very much like was brought up on it, and I think like a big part of like the Star Wars fandom just comes from like the just creative ness of just like how many different like species, how many different planets, like just the imagination and vision of George Lucas is just, it's hard for somebody who grew up on it not to just really feel like connected to it for me.
That's the thing, dude. Like, you know me, Jack.
Doing there?
Say what?
Yoda's just like standing there watching the battle. It's like, why did Yoda even have to go?
You know me,
looking
Jack.
like Louis, dude. He's just sitting there.
I feel like for me, like my upbringing is one where like I feel like maybe the kind of relationship that people have with this kind of franchise I have with like anime stuff like One Piece. Well,
the thing is, like, people love something to like nerd out on, and like I think that like Star Wars is something that it's like you can go as deep as like your heart's content. Like there's so much depth of, like Jake was saying, like going into a 2-second clip on like the movie, you can go into a whole dialogue behind the motivations
the thought process
and stuff
behind a small thing.
And like I don't feel that strong about it to where I feel like I need to do that now, but like I've definitely felt that way in the past, and like wanted to, like I love just being able to, like like One Piece, being able to just watch something where I've seen 1,000 episodes and there's just such a huge picture in the background as you're like enjoying it. Like the world is so immersive, and that's kind of probably the first way I ever felt with any franchise or any sort of media. Star Wars was probably the most immersed I'd ever felt, like from a young age, in something that was just somebody else's vision.
Yeah, for sure.
Something like entirely different from reality.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I can appreciate that for sure. Because I think like for me, the closest thing I can kind of pinpoint is that's kind of the relationship that I had with stuff like Dragon Ball and Naruto and One Piece. Like. Because that's the stuff that I like grew up on, and then I would just watch endless YouTube videos about shit like that. Like, oh, what does this mean? What is that about? But again, like when I went into these movies for the first time, I was like, I was already a grown man. I was like 18,
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't think I would enjoy it as a grown man watching.
Exactly. So when I came into it, like as a grown man, I was just kind of like, all right, they're kind of fun, but that was like the extent of it for me. It's like, oh, they're kind of fun, the second one out of the 6 movies, that one's pretty good, That was kind of my approach. Like, oh, that one's really good, There's the father one and he cuts his arm. That's cool. That one's tight, Yeah. But then, when I continued making progress through them and I got to these movies, I was like, what in the hell are these? I was like, what in the hell are these movies?
I think that the prequel thrives. The prequel thrives on nostalgia for me.
For sure.
I think the first trilogy is really more timeless.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the prequels are. The first and second movies are bad. The Phantom Menace is bad.
That's a bad movie.
Attack of the Clones is bad. Yeah, they're bad. This one is. This one has a lot of cool shit in it. This one, Revenge of the Sith, to me is like. It's kind of like a Jason Statham movie almost, where it's like they just go so hardcore in certain places that it's hard not to respect it. Like when like moments like when Anakin just slices off Dooku's hands and then has like crosses those sabers in front of his throat. It's like it's just sick, it's just fucking awesome. It's just cool. I like how balls to the wall they went with this
and also the
know?
fact that this movie, just like from like a philosophical standpoint, it's also a little bit more richer. Like it's a little like this is like, out of those 3 movies, it was kind of like a 3 strikes and you're out. Like with this one, I feel like Lucas was able to execute maybe to the very best of his abilities what he was trying to do in the first 2, Like this is the one where it kind of feels like a lot of stuff, like you said, clicks. A lot of scenes like really stand out and make sense, and the poetry and the rhyminess in some ways, and in some scenes has poetry, and philosophy. So you kind of like vibe with it a little bit more than the other two, for sure. And then you have, and the thing that I love about these movies, I think the number one thing I love about these movies, all of these movies, is that they have sick character designs. Like the design of these characters, like how they draw these characters just to make cool, memorable characters. These movies are like packed with them. Just packed with memorable silhouettes and memorable like character designs. That's like the number one thing for me about these movies.
Well, just like these motherfuckers right here. It's like like the fact that they put so much effort into just these guys is crazy.
Oh yeah, they could have just had this guy be like some dude, but they put in effort into making.
They really do, and that's funny because that's kind of like this shitty thing with like, I guess like the Disney method, because the Disney of it all is just to paint people colors and not really do this kind of stuff where it's like, this is a dude wearing a bunch of prosthetics, or like a CG dude, like, but it's like a very weird, specific CG dude, like the amount of effort that goes into that. I think that's kind of the issue with those kind of later Disney films, that it feels like they just abandoned that for a lot of like just bland like color and and people just, oh, that's a blue guy, it's like, well, before they were making all these weird alien species,
right. For me, I didn't even answer my own question. For me, I think the coolest thing to come out of Revenge of the Sith was probably General Grievous. Just that character, very great character. If you like, honestly, in terms of lore and stuff, General Grievous is my favorite Star Wars character to kind of dig into if you want to learn, if you want to like, there's certain Star Wars characters like Dooku, like Grievous, where it's like you it's like you don't even know much about them just from the movies, so you have to go to like the comics, the animated series, the books and stuff to learn more about them. And Grievous is someone that's has a very interesting backstory, really interesting lore, why he's a cyborg.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing about it, right? Because like in this movie, you have this like really cool, sick character design, and a great voice performance that makes you want to be like, what's up with that guy?
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it does make you like, okay, what's this guy's story? Because it's like, on one hand, you could say he's underdeveloped, but on another hand, it's like, well, it does make me want to like look into the other material.
There's a lot of richness. Even if this movie doesn't explore the character, there's so much there. Even if it's just from like an aesthetic standpoint, that just goes like, what in the hell? Like, please, somebody, please explain this guy. Like, what is going on?
I can't believe this. Yeah, I can't believe this is already happening.
Hello there.
This is weirdly paced. This movie. It feels early for this to be happening.
Hour in.
Is it just me? So that's the interesting thing about Revenge of the Sith too, and I watched a video on this recently. A YouTuber was talking about Revenge of the Sith, how it's kind of a 4-act movie in a weird way. How like you have these 3 acts, and at the the climax, Grievous gets killed or whatever. But then you have this 4th act where like everyone loses essentially. I thought that was kind of interesting, and it kind of feels that way because as an adult watching this movie, I haven't watched Revenge of the Sith all the way through since I was a kid.
Dude, there he goes, dude.
Oh,
iconic as fuck.
Oh,
attack Kenobi! Honestly, it was a great twist because you think this whole movie, you think that General Grievous is just some helpless coward, and then he reveals that like, no, I can swing lightsabers too, bitch.
He's pretty
like, oh,
he's
fuck.
sick, dude. Look at him go.
Oh my god,
that holds up. That fucking holds up.
I fucking love that.
Just running it straight through the ground, yeah.
Dude, how do you fight that, man? Oh my god.
That's why you was talking about Grievous being one of your favorite characters. It seems like a basic pick, but Kenobi's always been my favorite Star Wars character. It's just like,
oh yeah,
he's just so goated with it, and just going from kind of like seeing in the prequels him going from like Padawan to like general of like the General of the Republic, like that kind of
Mhm.
transition, and then even in the later series being kind of like a mentor, like you just see him in so many different lights, and
Yeah.
I think it's just so interesting too, like the fact that you've got these like peaceful Jedi, who are kind of monk like, be really like put in a position where they're forced to kind of militarize, and seeing kind of how that relationship of being like, in the military like kind of has an effect on them.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Dude, he
How
really did
they
load
like,
diff. He
yeah,
really
because in
did
the
load
first
diff
movie.
fucking Grievous though.
Oh shit, dude.
This thing is
There's
fucking
the thing Jack was
sick.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this thing is so sick.
Yeah, he gets in this robot hamster wheel.
There you
I
go.
love that too. How Grievous is always just slaughtering his own droids.
He doesn't care, dude.
Yeah, I remember the clone. I was a big fan of the Clone Wars series. Did you ever watch the Clone Wars series, Edward?
No,
Oh,
I've
probably
only,
not,
dude,
right?
I've only ever interacted with the movies, and I
Yeah,
think you have sent
I
me,
loved the.
clips. Like I know that you've sent me like a handful of clips before, and I've watched them, like from like clips from the shows and stuff.
Yeah,
But that's it. That's really my extent of like and I haven't even seen what is it, like the last one with Ray Skywalker. The Ray Palpatine. I haven't seen the Ray Palpatine movie. I
that's
haven't even seen
awful,
that.
man. Rise of
I
Skywalker is
uh,
so bad.
that whole trilogy to me is just unwatchable.
Yeah.
I
That's
will never
awful.
watch those 3 movies ever again
Damn.
in my life.
Damn.
It's just, I mean,
How would
as
you?
much as you will even say these movies are bad, those are just to the exponential degree worse than this.
Okay, guys.
Even if it
Oh
like
yeah.
looks good.
Guys,
Oh, dude, the
so I
prequels are better than the
so
sequels for
I have
sure.
three men here in you guys that have grown up with these movies, and you guys have seen all of them, right? You guys have seen all of them, including the Ray Palpatine one, right?
Yeah.
So I want to hear you guys rank them. Like, please, I want to hear the ranking from each one of you guys of the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and then the new Disney ones. Like, rank, each 3 in your order, worst to best.
Okay.
Would you include like Rogue One and Solo as well?
Sure.
Those
No,
like side movies.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean,
we can
because
include them.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, throw those in. Those are just 2 of them.
Yeah, I haven't
Those are
seen
two.
because Jack says
I've only seen this. I've seen the solo one though, but I haven't seen the other one.
because Jack says no, but I feel like he's forgetting. I don't know if it's been so long that he forgot, but Rogue One is
Okay. Really?
easily
That preface is an attack. Okay.
dude, I'm not gonna lie,
Rogue
dude.
One
Rogue
is
One
well
is
made.
actually like a good movie. Like Rogue One was a good movie, especially like of like the newer. I guess you could say the newer 5. Counting the newer trilogy with both of those, Rogue One is the best one of those 5.
I would
That
agree with
is
that.
very true.
I
Yeah.
think Rogue One's the best thing to happen, outside of the first
I haven't seen it, but I
6
want to
movies.
because I know that the guy
Including
that
TV
made
shows or
Godzilla,
anything.
Jake, the guy that made
Yeah.
Godzilla 2014 made the Rogue One, right?
Yeah, Gareth Edwards.
That's
So
why I wanna
Rogue
watch it.
One feels Rogue One is kind of like one of those old war movies that you watch on that you catch on TV or something that are just kind of boring but also really well made, I'm not saying all old war movies are boring or anything like that, but like, it is like a war movie but as a Star Wars in a Star
Yeah.
Wars skin. There's nothing there that's like super character driven and super interesting or anything, but they are very well made and you can take them seriously, unlike the sequel trilogy, which is just a bunch of nonsense.
And you can go into Rogue One with no context, no idea of Star Wars, and still appreciate it for kind of what it is.
Yeah, and it has Mads Mikkelsen, which is great too.
Yeah,
Love
that's
Mads
also part why I
Mikkelsen.
want to watch it. But let me hear your rankings. Everybody rank them. The old ones to
Lucas,
the latest.
Lucas, you're our
yeah.
guest. Go ahead, Lucas.
Yep.
I mean, it's really obviously, I'm gonna say Revenge of the Sith is my favorite. That's already. I feel like that's already. I made that pretty
I
clear.
respect it, dude.
Man, this is a good scene, man. This is a pretty good scene. I like this one a lot. But I would probably say A New Hope is my second favorite.
Wait, which one?
And then
I've
Empire.
lost you. I was looking at this thing.
A New Hope would
Oh,
be
A
my
New Hope.
second favorite.
Okay.
Well, and then probably Empire.
Let's do something. Let's start with this. Let's rank them like individually by their faces. So give me like your individual ranking of each stage, and then maybe you guys can give me your rankings like as all of them together. But just to not get too convoluted, I want to hear like
of each trilogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so start with original trilogy, Lucas.
And then we'll round robin. So you do original trilogy. Me, Jake will go, and then I'll go.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then Edward, since you've seen them, you're on trial as well.
I've not seen all of them.
Okay, you haven't seen them. All right.
Yeah.
The original trilogy.
All right, I'll go. I know mine exactly.
Yeah,
mine is
you go ahead.
Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, in that order, descending. That's my order. I think A New Hope is a great movie, but I enjoy Return of the Jedi a little bit more than that, and I don't think there's any realm where you can put Empire Strikes Back at the lowest at all. So that's kind of where I got him.
Yeah, for me it's Empire is number 1, then New Hope, then Return of the Jedi. I rank New Hope higher than Return of the Jedi because I love
I do too. I agree
I
with you.
love we rewatched New Hope when we were in college, Edward, because they screened it at our school.
And did you not take that class? We took that Star Wars class. Were you there?
Yeah, it was like a Star Wars class. Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
That's really cool.
We took a Star Wars class.
That's
it was like a
sick.
psychology of Star
awesome.
Wars class.
Yeah, we took
taught
the
by a
hell?
psychology professor.
What?
That's super sick.
Here goes Obi-Wan, dude. He's got to fight Grievous without a lightsaber. But so I love the call of adventure aspect of New Hope, how you just get to watch this guy kind of like entering sort of a bold new world, with all of these weird alien creatures and
Lucas, you said it about this shitty aspect of his body with his heart exposed.
Yeah.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah.
I remember someone in elementary school tried to tell me that was like a little guy piloting Grievous. I was like, dude, that's his heart. He was like, no, it's a little guy who's piloting him. I was like, no, it's not what it is. Grievous
One of the few moments you'll ever see a Jedi use a blaster too.
And he's dead.
Dude, Grievous got a warrior's death, man. Like he got a warrior's
He's going to
death
Valhalla,
at the
dude.
hands
That's
of
for
Obi-Wan.
sure.
He did, man. That's what, dude. Grievous's lore is great, man. Like Grievous was like a warrior on his home planet, and then the Republic started fucking with his people, and that's why he hates the Jedi so much. So he started. There's a couple versions of his origin story, whether you go by legends or canon. I prefer the version of his story that he slowly becomes a cyborg as he slowly enhances his body so he's able to combat the Jedi better. I like that version better.
I agree. I would second that. I think I would also second Jake's listing of well, actually, no, I wouldn't. Never mind, because I forgot you said Empire Strikes Back was your favorite of the original trilogy. I would say A New Hope, then Empire, then Return of the Jedi. Obviously, that might be, in order, but I would definitely say that A New Hope's my favorite, without a doubt, of the original trilogy.
Yeah. You know what my issue is with Return of the Jedi? People always say the Ewoks or whatever. The Ewoks or whatever. Like, I can get past the Ewoks. I do think it would have been better if they stuck with their original idea to have the Wookiees.
It's just goofy. Like, Return of the Jedi is just kind of goofy.
Wookiees are so much cooler than
Yeah.
Ewoks.
The original idea in Return of the Jedi was to have the Wookiees instead of the Ewoks, and that would have been better because you had Chewbacca this whole time, so you could have had Chewbacca doing sort of a return to his home world or whatever, and that would have been believable that the Wookiees would have you could have done a little bit more character development with Chewbacca or whatever too. But anyway, that's not even what bothers me about Return of the Jedi. You know what I think the big problem is with Return of the Jedi, and I'm gonna get some hate from Star Wars fans for this. It's the Emperor, dude. Like, because Return of the Jedi, like if you watch the original Star Wars trilogy, weirdly enough, I think the Emperor is actually great in Revenge of the Sith. But in Return of the Jedi, when you watch the original Star Wars trilogy, Darth Vader is like this just cool, intimidating villain. You know, he's just like this grand sort of like a Nazi SS officer in space. You know, he's just really scary. And then you get to Return of the Jedi, and it's like his master is this like evil space wizard that shoots lightning out of his fingertips, and it's just like, what? Like, I don't know, man. It's just, it just
Ah,
never sat right with me, because well, what some people don't know, because I grew up on my dad had like the VHS tapes, so I saw a lot of us saw the original versions of Star Wars before Lucas went back and edited them. And what a lot of people don't know is in Empire Strikes Back, the Emperor has one scene in that movie where he talks to Vader through a hologram, and he's played by a different actor. And I actually think that version of the Emperor worked better in that original trilogy, because he just comes across as like just this not overly evil cartoonish guy, but just like a you know, just like an imperial ruler who just wants to expand his empire. Oh man, this scene, man. Here it comes.
I don't know. I think we'll watch this and then I'll come back to it.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
Doesn't Samuel Jackson also just get like low diff, like just like dealt with, like it's nothing?
No, Sam Jackson like beats him in this scene, but then Anakin
Yeah, he
comes in.
does.
Anakin low diff
Kicks his
right?
ass.
Sam Jackson is such a badass in this scene, man.
These guys are
Not
Jedi
Kid
masters.
Fisto.
I would say Kid Fisto.
Takes down 3 Jedi, dude. Like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. These
And
guys
then,
stood
but then
there.
Mace Windu fucks him up, man. Like Sam Jackson is the guy to fuck him up.
I would say he's
He's doing it with style too.
Yeah, he's like swaggering. It's like aura farming while he's fighting him.
Yeah, he is Zora farming the shit out of him.
Yeah, he is. He's like just flailing. He's like
He's like
doing this
"Ah."
like tough guy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so the pacing of this movie is so weird to me. Like, I feel like we're getting to everything so quick, and maybe
Oh,
this is
yeah.
because I'm drinking whiskey and
Yeah, we're all-
talking to you guys.
Yeah, we're all drinking and talking at the same time.
It could be that, but
I think it's because
not
we
a-
missed the lowlights of this film, like tying it together entirely. I haven't been paying attention to much of the non-fighting scenes a lot.
I just feel like, because here's the thing: right after this happens, Anakin is about to go and kill children, and it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like we've done enough to get there. You know, that's my problem.
Yeah, because he's gonna kill those kids.
That was too far, man. It's not that I have a problem with the idea that Vader would kill children, but it's the idea, just the way that they get there in this movie is like that. This guy would not do that. He's not that bad of a guy. You know, like, yeah, he's a whiny baby, but you know, like at the beginning of the movie, he's like, I'm gonna go help out this expendable clone trooper, and then he's gonna go kill kids. I don't know about that.
Why does he believe him?
I don't know. It seems so unbelievable right now. I'm not gonna lie. It seems so unbelievable. The guy that's trying to shock with the dark force to the Jedi, saying that the Jedi are the traitors.
Dude, and I love, to your point, Jack, I love when Palpatine scams him, because you guys are gonna see it right after this scene. Right after Anakin saves him, Palpatine goes like, "Well, I don't actually know how to save Padme, but I know we can discover the secret." It's like, holy shit! You scammed me.
Also, he's too dangerous to be left alive, is what the freaking senator used on him for Dooku.
Right.
But he was okay with it then.
Jack, do you remember the I guess not even Jack, but do you guys remember the what is it
Damn,
called? The like robot
kill Sam
chicken?
Jackson like that.
Oh my gosh.
Power.
Unlimited. Power. Holy shit.
Fried him.
I love this too. It's like Anakin, how do you not see that this guy's just some monster from hell?
Yeah, this is when you force push him off the side, and then you're just like, they had a battle, they both died. You go
Yeah.
back to regular life.
Anakin, it's like Skywalker. Security footage we have.
God.
Look at this ghoulish frog of a man.
Oh my god. What, okay, so he just said, "What have I done?" And now he's like, "I will do whatever you ask."
Yeah, okay, come on, bro.
God damn, dude.
How do you know this guy's gonna help you?
For all you know, he could be
Because
the
he told
cause.
him the legend of Darth Plagueis the Wise. That's another thing. So in the beginning of the movie, when he's telling him that, and he's like, "Here it is."
We can
He just
discover the
said it.
secret.
He said, "I know we can discover the secret."
Bro got scammed.
It's like before he was like, "Yes, Darth Plagueis knows it," and now he's like, "Well, I think if we work hard enough, maybe
discover
we
the
can help."
secrets.
Yeah,
It's like moving the goalpost.
he's like, Emperor, my wife is gonna die in like a week.
I don't know if you guys remember. It's like slipping my mind who he's talking about that has, cheated death. Like who is he talking about? I can't remember.
Darth Plagueis. He's talking about his own master.
Yep.
Oh,
And-
that's right.
So that's what I was gonna say. The weird thing about that scene is like if you look into like Star Wars lore or whatever, that was his master, and that happened during the events of the Phantom Menace. So when
Yeah.
he's sitting there telling Anakin, like, he's like, "Oh, it's a Sith legend." It's something that happened 15 years ago, at the most. It's like, how is this a Sith legend? You're the only Sith. You're the only Sith. Who was making this a legend?
Honestly, though, at this point, you've got Darth Maul dead, you got Count Dooku dead, you got, I don't even know if you consider Grievous a Sith, but he's dead.
Nice.
I mean,
Separatist.
No, Grievous
Separatist,
isn't.
yeah.
Grievous
Yeah,
isn't a
you're right.
Sith. He can't use the Force.
That's true. But at this
What
point,
a
it's just
loser.
him. It's just that guy.
Yeah, so he's like, "Okay, Anakin, now you must go kill children."
Because the only other person that I can think of that I guess I wouldn't say that cheats death, but like technically can't die because of his force power. And I don't
Nihilist.
know how I would say I don't know how you guys would go about pronouncing his name, but I call it Nihilus. I feel like he's the only other person I can think of besides Plagueis that's able to do that.
He eats souls, so basically,
Yeah, he just
right?
sucks souls. Pause.
I'm not familiar with that character.
Dude, Darth Nihilus, if we're gonna go off of the movies, is easily my favorite Star Wars character of all time.
But is he in the movies?
Not in the
No,
movies.
he's
He's
not. He's
Old
not in the
Republic.
Oh, you mean away from the movies? I
Yeah,
gotcha.
off
Okay.
off away. That's what I meant. My bad.
Gotcha. No, I understand.
Dude, he is absolutely like OP. Like he is. It's almost like I don't know if you guys have seen the new the new Thunderbolts movie, or even
We're
know
gonna watch
who.
it.
I would say, or even who. I mean, obviously Jack knows who Sentry is,
Yeah,
but
Sentry's awesome. I didn't
he,
know he was in that movie until I looked up the cast before we did the pod. Oh my god, I
yeah,
can't wait to see Sentry on screen, dude.
dude.
It,
I mean,
Jack and I are
Nihilus
going to
is
see that.
boy. He's just like he's Star Wars' version of like the most OP character that you can imagine.
Okay.
He's ridiculous.
So is his timeline really in this movie? Is he just kind of like around, or is he like? I'm just trying to place together the MCU. Does Sentry become Sentry after the events of like Infinity War, or like how does that work?
So essentially, the like timeline of where Thunderbolts happens is it's afterwards, and I mean obviously I don't want to like ruin the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
It's
I don't
like
want to.
it's I mean it's I guess you would say canon or like it's in the comics. You know how it happens. They obviously didn't, and this is the other thing with the MCU is they've never heard of going off of like a storyline, and it pisses me off so much because they have a rubric, they have the comics of what as of how everything lines up and how everything goes together, but they refuse to go based off of it. And I'm sure it's probably based on viewer like the viewers, they try to think of like the best way that would be like the coolest for people to watch, and would be like everyone would talk about it. But like the way that Robert Richards becomes Sentry is not the way that they did it in the movies, and I was very disappointed because he is also my favorite MCU character of all time, and he always has been. So it was just kind of weird for me, but yeah. So the timeline of him, I don't know, I got like
He's
off on
the
a
evil good
tangent.
guy, right? He
A
has like an
tangent.
evil clone or like an evil
Yeah,
child
yeah.
or something.
So
Void and
yeah, he's
Sentry.
got like split personality. It's like, he is Robert Richards, a normal human. He's like some kid that was like he did drugs, and he was like such a like just like a low life like piece of shit. And then gets tricked into becoming this literal god, like literal god. And he's got the two sides, the guy who has the power of 10,000 suns,
It's a lot of power.
or literally the devil himself that could banish every human off the face of the planet if he ever wanted to,
Yeah.
which is just absolutely insane.
Man, they keep shooting that poor lady. She's already dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jack, who is that? That's what is it, like starts with an A. Man, I can't remember what her name is.
Execute Order 66.
Fuck.
Dude,
I'm
what's her
trying to think of
name?
it too.
Ahsoka or something like that?
It's not Ahsoka.
No, it's
Ahsoka survives somehow.
The blue chick you're talking about?
yeah. I can't
Yeah.
think of what her name is,
Oh,
'cause-
it's yeah, she was in Clone Wars. I forget.
yeah, she was. I don't remember what her
Dude.
name is.
The Clone Wars finale was great. It takes place like during the events of this movie, and it involves Ahsoka and Darth Maul. It's pretty good.
Alea
Um,
Secura.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Halo.
right. That's right.
Yeah. But I know I still didn't answer your question, Jack. That's my bad.
Or it's Ayla Secura.
Yeah, Ayla. Uh,
This is when they fuck up. They try to kill Yoda. Not a good idea.
dude, Yoda's so sick, man. I love him.
Well, yeah.
He's
Yoda's
just some
like you're
tiny
not
little
gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna beat Yoda.
I love it whenever him and Sidious fight, and the two of them are just flipping around as if they're not like old ass. Like,
Yeah, dude, the dexterity of Yoda and just like the pure force power together is just so sick.
Oh, here it is, Lucas.
He's just a
yeah.
movement
Speaking
god.
of really sick scenes that I
terrible.
really like. Dude,
Looks
like
I
look at this. Look at this. Nods
my
his head, and then bang.
Oh my god!
Oh,
All to
It is
save his
cool.
wife.
dude could have at least changed his lightsaber color for that scene. Like, come on.
Dude, I mean, at that point, you just gotta let your wife go.
Yeah,
If
you
you
really
really think she's gonna
do.
die
Like,
in
dude, what's the
childbirth,
like, at what
like,
cost?
come on,
Like,
bro.
do you really think that in a universe that's governed by this force that you're gonna get away with this? What an idiot.
Yeah, like let's mock up a pros and cons list. Save my wife, kill a bunch of kids, and go against everything that I've been taught my entire life. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good trade-off. I'm not gonna lie.
Darth Vader's an
It
idiot.
really is, dude. It's a dummy.
Yeah, he's so
George Lucas,
stupid.
George Lucas tried so hard to
Is
set
this
this up.
that's
too.
this isn't Lando Calrissian, is it?
No,
No,
no.
That's the
That's,
same actor, isn't it? Isn't it the same actor, or am
No.
I tripping? No, I'm tripping. I'm
No.
tripping. I was
Yeah, you're
like,
tripping.
dude, I was like, dog. That kind of
Yeah,
looks
those
like
two.
him, low key. No.
Oh, man, that's
Bro, he's
Miguel
look at this
Prado
little
from
kid, man.
Dexter.
He's for a second there,
Right.
he was going crazy.
Dude, Dexter killed him. Remember that, Jack?
Yeah, I do
That's
remember
Miguel
that.
Prado. Yeah. Okay, so to finish out Edward's question, I'm gonna just go ahead and give my rankings.
Oh yeah, we
real
forgot about
quick.
that.
So we gave our original trilogy.
Yeah.
Prequels.
I completely forgot about that.
Prequels will go in chronological order, 1, 2, and 3, with 1 being the worst and 3 being the best. So
Okay, I was
1's
about
the
to
worst.
say.
Yeah.
You think
So,
the
my bad,
Phantom Menace is better than Revenge of the Sith? Good
Fuck
lord.
no. Hell no,
You've
no.
lost your mind.
No, let me revise. 3, 2, 1. I should have said.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Darth
With
Maul is a
best to
sick
worst.
villain
So
regardless,
three's the
but-
best. 3 makes the other 2 look super lame. Two is often called the worst prequel. I don't know. I haven't seen these prequels since I was a kid, but just going off of memory, I will say I think as a kid, the Phantom Menace is the one that I was actually kind of bored during, versus like 2 and 3. 2 at least has some enjoyment with the Colosseum sequence. Anakin sort of having that whole like revenge against the Tusken Raiders. Obi-Wan's got a cool fight against Jango Fett. Like there's a little bit of there's some good stuff in 2.
There's some
And then
nuggets in 2.
3 obviously we have a lot of cool sequences in 3. So 3, 2, 1. And then just with like the Disney ones, I'll just go ahead and knock it out because I know we keep getting distracted, so I'll go ahead and knock it out real quick.
Yeah.
I would say the best out of all of those would probably be Rogue One, then Force Awakens, then Solo, then Last Jedi. I could interchange Solo and Last Jedi. I think they're about the same quality-wise. And then last would be Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker is like 2 out of 10.
You think that's like the
really
worst?
bad.
Terrible.
Well, okay.
The worst Star Wars film of all time.
Okay, that's what I wanted
the
to
Rise
hear.
of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker is like the only Star Wars film that I actually actively hate.
Mm-hmm.
Like Force Awakens is like fine, I can sit through it. Last Jedi is bad, but it's like I could sit through it. I don't know, there's like some okay stuff. But Rise of Skywalker is so bad. It's J.J. Abrams at his worst. Like it's so bad.
I felt like through the trilogy, after the first one, I sat through them due to obligation for liking Star Wars.
Yeah.
I hate them so much. Personally, I'm not even going to take the time to rank those movies because I don't even think it's worth like
He's bowing out of the activity.
Dude, they're not. It's not even worth. They're all horseshit. Like they're all literally zero value movies that I will never watch again in my entire life. But as far as the
dude just gave the Batista thumbs up, thumbs down to the activity.
Yeah, dude. If I could wipe them off the face of the earth with the snap of my fingers, I would do it with like out of thought.
Thanos
of what the, like
get all the
yeah.
gems.
I would Thanos the hell out of those movies.
Snap 'em. Yeah.
So bad, but I mean, it's 3, 2, 1 for prequels for me because I just really feel like he said, like Revenge of the Sith has the most to offer. I mean, just the Grievous sequence, the duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan, just the kind of transfer from this betrayal of Anakin and the fallout of it. Like, there's just so much to be had. that the other movies don't offer. The second one just has so many more like not more, but like has so many good combat scenes, and the Coliseum scene is just so good to me. Just like for some reason I love just canonical clones and just like the Yoda coming in on those warships with all the clones for the first time really being seen on film is just like such an iconic moment for me.
There's 3PO, dude.
And then the first one, like I love Darth Maul as a villain, but there's not really much else to be had in that film for me besides like the pod racing's like yeah, it's like kind of cool, like
Yeah, it's all right.
it's all right, like but it's like I don't know, there's just not much to be had. And then the whole Jar Jar thing is just like a
Horrific.
brain rotted just like moment of like going down into his little place and Misa, like all this
Misa!
like Misa wanted a Jedi Master.
Annie!
Yeah.
Well,
Then there's like grooming of Padme
Maul,
against like Anakin.
yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just a weird movie.
Well,
It didn't come together as well as it was probably thought out.
Darth Maul in Phantom Menace is a well-designed character, but he has no development in that movie.
None.
Like Darth Maul,
absolutely zero.
in Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and then Rebels, they actually really developed that character. He's a very good character, very well written in those movies. He's a really tragic character. Just this guy who's monstrously blinded by revenge against Kenobi, forgetting the fact that he struck first against Kenobi. Like he killed Kenobi's master. He dealt the first blow. He never apologizes for that. It's all about like me, my revenge on Kenobi for defending himself against me, basically. He's a very just tragically narcissistic character, But in the Phantom Menace, yeah, he's not given any development whatsoever. But he was always an iconic character as far as design goes.
The design was insane.
Yeah, great design, but it's not enough.
And the only time in either sequels that you see the original and prequel seeing like a double-sided lightsaber.
Oh yeah,
I believe it's the only double-sided
It
lightsaber you see.
I think you're right. I don't recall it. I don't recall anyone else besides Maul using one.
But yeah, I mean, I think for the original, or I guess not the original, the prequels. I mean, I obviously would go Revenge of the Sith, 3-1. The one thing that I will complain about the Phantom Menace, because I mean, obviously you guys already ripped into it enough. I don't know if I need to go super like to like a crazy extent. But I don't know
give us your thoughts, man. That's what we do.
I don't know who all listens to this podcast. How because I know I'm gonna bring it up and it's gonna piss people off depending on
don't
who's
worry
listening.
about it, man.
But
don't worry about it. We piss commenters off sometimes.
This is a podcast where we don't care if we piss people
we all
off.
got our takes, man. That's why those who do listen to us, that's why they like us, man. We're honest.
I mean, seriously, the Phantom Menace, and I'm gonna bring it up, and I know it's gonna piss people off. I just know it is. Reminds me of The Fellowship, the first Lord of the Rings movie. I fucking hate that movie because it is 3.5 hours of bullshit. It is 3.5 hours. I cannot stand that movie.
You're bringing a great trilogy into this now, man.
You could have used Dune 1 as a better example for what I think you're talking to, but
Dune 1, yeah.
Fellowship's a tough argue for me. I can't.
Fellowship's a good movie, man, but I can see it. Like it's the first act of a 3-part story.
Look, the commenters are gonna ask us to hunt you down, dude.
Next movie on next week is The Fellowship of the Ring.
It's your movie, Jack.
I mean, listen, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I would be interested in watching it again with you guys, like just to get y'all's takes on it, because I honestly hate that movie so much. Just because, I mean, like I said, it's literally 3.5 hours of just and I know it's it's got to set the ground. It's the first movie, so I understand that like it's gonna take it a while to like set the scene. But oh my god, it took me, and I'm not exaggerating. It took me watching the movie 8 times to finally get through the entire thing because one, I would either fall asleep. Two, I would get so bored. Or three, I'm just like, dude, what am I fucking watching? Like, what is this? It is terrible. It took me 8 times to finally get through that movie. And I'm sure
Wow.
I know it's a
Blasphemy.
hot take. I know it's a hot take. I understand. But I
Not even the
hate
young
that
ones
movie
survived.
so much.
But do you
And
like
that's
2 and 3 of Lord of the
I
Rings?
like two the most. Two is my favorite.
Yeah, 2 is great. You get a lot of great drama with Gollum
Oh yeah.
in 2. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny, Jack? I was just thinking about this because I know you and I both. I love this scene where Anakin's just slaughtering cartoon characters. It's so funny. Dude, this
Those like
scene is
OG separatists. I
scene-
don't know what their race is, but they're always just so funny looking, dude.
Yeah, the those green aliens.
Yeah, the green
That-
aliens. They're
That
always
scene,
just
it's
they
so
all.
cruel because they're all just in a room with no weapons, and Anakin's just cutting them down. Like it is the meanest fucking scene ever, dude. Oh my
No, no.
god. They're all, the thing is they're all like pieces of shit. They're bad people, but it is so mean. Like because they're none
Oh
of them are
yeah.
armed, dude. But anyway, you and I
Yeah,
have both.
because you go before you go into that, it's like you go
Yeah.
from like him hesitating to kill Dooku to just slaughtering without a thought, like in one movie. That is such a crazy like transition.
Oh
It's
yeah.
I know, man. But so Jack, you and I have both read Black Tongue Thief, and I almost feel
Oh,
like Fellowship of the Ring is kind of Black Tongue Thief is actually very similar to Fellowship of the Ring, the first Lord of the Rings, in the sense that it's this fantasy film or this fantasy story that alludes to kind of a greater conflict, but is very it's a very like tight kind of fantasy story where the ending is just sort of this smaller conflict. There's no big battle.
yeah.
It's just kind of like a little fight in the forest kind of thing. Anyway, kind of a weird thought that I had, but I could see your point of view on that, Lucas. Those are long movies too.
Yeah,
They're
all
crazy
three,
long,
like
dude.
I mean, I could see the issue with getting through a movie of that length purely through the like, and a lot of the value being setting up for the other two and necessary. I would argue, Lucas, even though maybe it's not the most enjoyable of the three films, like it is probably the most necessary of the three films to kind of get what you need out of the other two. Like, I mean, you're not going to really get much out of the other two movies if you don't have that
Yeah.
one.
I mean, I get
Just the Gandalf scenes, just the picturing of the like, just the way that the Shire is depicted, just the exposition of getting all these characters into the same place. I mean, it's just
yeah, and Boromir too. Like
yeah.
Boromir's arc is great.
Oh
That
yeah.
whole
Dude,
that
he's watching back the
tragedy.
4K footage. They gotta move 4K.
I can't watch
dude.
anymore.
I can't watch anymore. Anakin pledged his allegiance to Dr. Frankenstein.
Darth Scronum.
How do you guys? Okay, so you guys got to rank the sequel trilogy, I think, still, don't you?
Yeah. Well, Jack refused.
Oh yeah,
Jack
that's right.
refused.
Jack said 0 out of
They're
10.
I still need
I'm
to.
not
They're
gonna do
all
it.
like shit to Jack. Okay, so
Yeah.
Lucas, give us your take.
I'd rather drink
So-
my own piss than rank those movies.
Damn.
He'd rather go Saul Goodman in the desert, dude. Dude, I can't go 1 week without mentioning the Vince Gilligan shows. It's
I
Yeah,
know
that
that-
must be
Yeah,
like
you love those.
for anybody watching the show, any our longtime viewers, the folks that always tune for the episodes, our commenters, we love them. There must be some people out there that they just have like drinking games. It's like
Well, at this point, if I don't mention Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul on the podcast, it's probably bad luck.
Indeed,
Honestly.
dude.
without a
If
doubt.
like the
Those
one
are
week
those are
that I
great
don't,
shows.
it's probably bad
Did you
luck.
watch Better Call Saul, Lucas?
I finally
really?
I finally went and watched the whole thing. Yeah,
Oh
it's
hell
great.
yeah, my guy.
I'm
Absolutely
still
Dude.
amazing.
holding. I still haven't started it, but it's
Oh
been on my
man,
laundry
Oh my
list.
goodness.
Edward and
Lock
I,
in.
yeah,
Dude, you
Edward and I
gotta.
back in the early days of Film Tangents, we did like a
Mhm.
full review on every
Every
episode
week,
of
yeah,
season
every episode
6,
of the
dude.
last season, we talked about it on Film Tangents.
Yeah, yeah.
Off the go-
Every week we would be like, all right, we watched the new episode of Better Call Saul because that final season was incredible, man.
Oh, it was
That fin-
amazing.
the final season was like better than Breaking Bad's final season. I thought, like, almost. I think Breaking Bad's a better show, but I mean that final season of
Yeah.
Better Call Saul was like a masterpiece of storytelling.
And that's something we can do in the
'Cause
future
just
again. Just like, all of us can kind of unite to watch like any given show
yeah,
premiering or something or old show and just kind of follow it and every week talk about like an episode or some shit like that.
yeah. I love that. Why is Obi-Wan smirking in this scene? Even when I was like 7 years old and I watched this movie, I was like, why is Obi-Wan smirking in this scene?
This would
It's
be
like,
so much better if like him and Padme banged before they went to to see Anakin. Like if they had some like weird like moment, that'd be so much better, dude.
that would make the fight better between Anakin and
Yeah,
Obi-Wan.
yeah. If
You
he was like
tried to
halfway through the fight, he's like, "I banged your wife." Like, can you imagine?
I feel like in that outcome, Anakin would probably win then,
Honestly, that might have tipped the scale.
He would have tapped
without a
into his
doubt.
dark side anger. That's the thing.
Well,
I
dude,
think Star Wars is actually correct on the dark side being weaker because being pissed off actually does make you a worse fighter. As somebody
without a doubt,
who,
it
yeah,
blinds you.
dude, yeah, it does, man. Like I've trained Muay Thai, I've sparred and stuff, and when you're angry, you're actually way worse.
Oh, you're pissed. I
You're a
mean, dude,
way
I
better
did Taekwondo
fighter.
for
Oh yeah, yeah, you're a martial arts guy, Lucas. Yeah.
yeah, I did Taekwondo for like 11 years, and I mean I remember days where you know shit was just fucking terrible, and I'd go in there like pissed off, like ready to spar people, wanted to like
Yeah.
kick someone's ass, and I'd literally get my ass handed to me because
Yeah.
you're just fully blind.
Yeah, you're just throwing haymakers and shit.
Oh yeah, just like literally like running 100 yards to like throw a flying sidekick at someone, and they just step to the side and like punch you in the stomach. Like you're fully you're not in it. You have to be clear minded and like locked in to truly be able to do your best. So I would agree
Yeah.
with that take, the whole dark side situation.
Yeah, because in martial arts, it's like you really learn that simple shit wins fights. Like
Oh yeah.
if your jab cross is on point, like you'll probably win. You're gonna win against an angry person who's like throwing haymakers. If you just hit him with the 1-2,
I
bop
mean,
bop.
not even that. Like, I don't know about you, but like I experienced like obviously because I did it for quite a while in Florida before I moved to Mississippi, and then afterwards, I joined a new I joined a new school, and there were people at the place that I went to back at home that I mean the technique that they would have is crazy. They'd be throwing like some like insane things that I'd never even like I could think to be able to attempt to do, and it's fully unnecessary. I mean, this person could be like insanely techniqued in like spin kicks and like jump
Hmm.
kicks and stuff, but you could kick his ass with like the most basic things if you
No, yeah.
just like pay attention to their form. Like you're like, oh yeah, this you can tell like, oh, he's about to step to the side to throw some like bullshit. I'm gonna step
Hmm.
to the other side, let him do his thing, let him look like an idiot, and then just punch him in the face. Like
Let
it's
him,
Yeah.
it's
let
not
him do
that
his
hard.
form 6. Let him get his
Yeah.
spinning kick with 2 punches and then step in.
I say let him do his
That's
like
why I like.
360 like spin heel, and I'm just gonna like step back and like kick him in the groin. Like it's not that hard, and it's
That's
it's
why I
it's
like
it's
Muay Thai.
really
There's
fun.
like 8 moves in Muay Thai, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
it. And that's why I like it. It's just like,
Taekwondo is a lot of kick
Oh,
wise has a lot of
there's so many
bullshit.
layers. Yeah, there's so
yeah,
many layers.
Like, when are you pulling out like a spinning hook kick, like in just like a street fight, like genuinely?
You're
You
not.
gotta really know what
Unless
you're
your
doing.
opponent is like blind and deaf and stupid, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Unless your opponent is Helen Keller, you are not doing a spinning heel kick.
I will say there have been a few UFC finishes where people have landed spinning hook kicks.
Oh, and
There's,
it's
Junior-
badass.
yeah, Junior Dos Santos, he has a spinning hook kick finish that he hit on somebody. They're rare, but they happen.
Oh, and
But
I mean, and if you can time it correctly, dude, those are like deadly. I
Lethal.
mean, dude,
Oh, yeah.
you hit someone in the head with a spinning heel kick, dude, you're dead. You're on the floor, fucking drool coming out of your mouth, stars above your head like you're in a cartoon. You're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, it's so true.
Someone's gonna tuck you in with a blanket and a fucking pillow.
I love this dude. This scene, like Anakin's he's just like a serial killer. He's just like,
But I'm doing
"Padme,
it for
I
you.
I
He's trying to like
killed, I slaughtered people for you."
You know
Oh
what's
my
funny that
God,
Padme
man.
says like you're a good person, and it's like what evidence do we have of that?
Yeah, no. I've always thought of that
Like,
too.
come on.
She's like, "You're a good person." It's like, why? Because he studied
the
under Master
father of your
Yoda.
children.
She's like, oh, this guy's a
I guess I
monster.
still need to rank the sequels, don't I? These bullshit ass movies. Let me
Yeah,
think.
do it before they fight.
So,
I couldn't
so
even
I'm not-
name the titles of all three off the top of my
Well,
head.
I
They're
can't.
that bad. Rise of
So-
Skywalker, fucking End of Skywalker, Middle
End
of
of
Skywalker,
Skywalker.
like
Beginning of Skywalker.
The fact that they called it The Rise of Skywalker is so stupid.
The
There's not
Force
even a
Awakens or
Skywalker.
some bullshit.
Yeah, those
yeah,
are
it's
bad
literally the
titles
end of
too, man.
Skywalker. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
Because of
Oh, dude.
Obi-Wan.
Pull
Dude,
up
this
and
scene is amazing.
Obi-Wan, pull up in the fucking shit.
I said this
right
is
now.
the only time that you can
Bro, he's just
There he
chilling
is.
there, just
Yeah,
aura
Chad,
farming.
dude, he's just aura farming
He's
the whole
charging
time.
his fucking chakras up there, like.
You brought him here to kill me.
Dude, he is completely like
Oh,
he's completely
man.
like aura maxed out. It's like I'm charged up.
Yeah, Super Saiyan active.
Now he's choking his own wife. I mean,
Oh.
dude.
That's a great moment when she hits the ground and that that sound effect they do there. That's a good moment.
You turn her against me.
And dude,
You have
Hayden
done
Christensen,
that yourself.
Hayden Christensen did a really good job with the material he was given to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He did
That was one of the best moments ever when like he got the appreciation he deserved. Like because like these movies came out, like the older audience did not give him the credit that was due.
No, his
but like our
performance
generation, I
is
feel like
good.
really
It's just like the
understood it.
it's just the shit that he's working with is just like terrible.
Yeah.
Like we don't
well, and
have
George
like
Lucas was directing him too. You know?
the way that his character got to this point is completely just like
Illogical.
illogical.
Security to my new empire.
How
Well,
did he
no,
get
what
here?
I was saying, like on paper, it's all great. Like it all makes sense.
amazing.
Like he grew up as a slave, you know, so he has already this feeling of being not in control. He loses his mother, so then he doesn't want to lose his wife too because he was traumatized by losing his mother. Like it all is there.
That's quote. Only a
they
Sith
brought
feels in absolutes.
if they brought in a great
You will
screenwriter.
try.
Here it goes. Here we go.
Everyone's
Boom.
still aura forming, dude.
And dude,
Dude.
these two actors, man, they worked freaking real hard to get this
They
Pull off
did, yeah.
this.
right.
That's
This
where
was
to me
incredible.
the sequel is just so ass. And like I understand like none of Rey isn't really like trained as a Jedi like in this time, and I understand that it's supposed to reflect that these aren't like. But Kylo Ren was trained by Luke fucking Skywalker, and he's dog shit.
I know.
Yeah, those movies are
Those
terrible.
lightsabers are so ass.
Those
Kylo
movies are
Ren,
terrible.
honestly, you know what? Kylo Ren might actually be one of the worst villains ever. to be honest with you.
Him taking off the
is
mask for like
horrible.
little to no reason was just the dumbest shit ever.
He's a horrible villain because like villains need to be more powerful than the protagonist.
Dude, she like
That's why
schools
I love
him in
the
the
show.
first movie.
Yeah, it's like it's over. He's not scary anymore.
No.
And then he's just throwing tantrums all the time. It's like he is a horrible villain. And we never even the reason for him turning to the dark side makes no sense too. It's because Luke Skywalker was like an idiot and was just had some weird premonition that like that he was going to turn to the dark side, so then he tried to kill him. It's like what is happening here?
Dude,
It's like Luke Skywalker is basically Anakin.
Yeah, he is.
It's like he's
And I think,
worse.
but that's also why people hated those movies so much. Like that's why people hated the Rian Johnson stuff so much because, and I agree with them because the issue that I have too with the Rian Johnson movie is that, like, what right did he have to want to take such liberties with his source material and with the implications of the character? Like, I know people defend him. I know there's a lot of Rian Johnson apologists, but I completely and wholeheartedly disagree with just the creative liberties that he took with those characters and that source material. Like he really just destroyed those characters. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. Mark Hamill was right about it because Mark Hamill would give all those interviews and be like, "I told Ryan I disagreed with your vision of the character, but that's the way he went."
And
like,
they allowed him.
Disney was like, "Mark, shut up."
You know, but they allowed him, like Kathleen Kennedy and all those people running, like the Star Wars stuff. Like they allowed him to destroy those characters. And it's like if you're gonna do this, like I feel like if they really wanted to do the stuff that they did, they should have just completely created characters removed from Luke and all those characters. Like Kylo Ren shouldn't have anything to do. Like if they wanted it to be that way, if they wanted it to be like, oh, his master wanted to kill him, then why even make his master Luke Skywalker? Like why not just make him somebody else? You know, just create new characters.
Because that was the whole point of Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy was that he rose above his father. He rose above Darth Vader, and that's why Darth Vader redeemed himself because he realized that Luke was like, my son has become a better man than I have become. You know, that was the beauty of Return of the Jedi. And Jack, if I can say, I will say, like, I respect your decision to make Return of the Jedi your favorite of the original trilogy because that redemption arc of Vader is fantastic.
Yeah,
you know, this whole like idea that Darth Vader is, you know, one of the most evil people in the galaxy at this point, but then sees that his own son has overcome what he couldn't, you know?
Yeah.
And he realizes like, oh, I spawned this, you know, I get, you know, this offspring of mine is a better person than I am, you know, and you know, I want to be. It's beautiful. Like I don't even need to put it into words. We've all seen the movies.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
It really is beautiful, you know, and for Rian Johnson, to your point, Edward, to just take that and like be like, no, Luke's actually just as flawed and stupid.
It's like, dude, you didn't need to subvert that.
As Anakin.
Like, you didn't need to do that.
It's insulting. It's so insulting.
It just lacks respect for the source material. Like, if you're gonna get somebody like JJ, because obviously JJ just completely just like, say what you want to say about JJ, and obviously the first one is a terrible movie anyway too. But it's like, at least JJ respected the source material with the first one, like to a fault, where he was just kind of aping everything. But it's like with Rian Johnson, it's like, dude, why did you do that? Like, why did you do that? It's almost like Rian Johnson like didn't like Star Wars. It's almost like he was like, I don't like this, I don't respect this.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna take this and just make it into what I want, you know, which is so ridiculous to me to do that to a franchise like this, you know.
Well, the other thing too is like if you've seen any other J.J. Abrams or Rian Johnson movies, you really realize that these are not the guys to adapt Star Wars.
No.
Like these guys are guys who enjoy
because he did fucking Star Trek.
Right. And the thing is with because JJ and Ryan Johnson are both
Yoda
like,
just catches the lightning in his hands. Can we just pause for
Yeah,
that
that's
for
pretty
a
sick,
second?
dude.
Like, God.
yeah.
He just says, "Let me hold that for
This
you."
guy, it makes, he
Yeah,
made, dude, he
yeah.
made her a Sengun, dude.
Didn't mean
Boom.
to interrupt your thought, but that was just too fucking good. I
No, you're
forgot that
good.
he just fucking held it.
No, you're good, dude. That's commentary. We got to interrupt because we got to keep up with
Oof.
what's going on. So you are good, man.
And like
There
the
goes Yoda.
detail of
I love
like
how Yoda just gives up now. He's like, well, I guess I fell, so now I'm done.
I'm done. Well, not only did he fall, but he lost. Dude, he lost his aura, like cape, like he had.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
his
a huge
aura.
part of it.
Dude, his aura went from
He's
like
naked.
100 to like 50.
That never made sense to me too. Like, why does Yoda? He just gives up. Not only does he just give up from fighting Sidious, but he completely gives up. He just goes to live in some swampland. He's like, he goes
Yeah,
to live on Dagobah. It's like, what? He doesn't look into anything. He's just like, well, I guess that's
Dude, you
it.
don't
I
understand.
feel like
dude.
so much of fantasy, like characters, is not even necessarily like are they like capable of winning a fight. It's like how is their aura high enough
That's
to
it,
win
dude.
the
And the
fight?
thing is
And
that
like
Yoda suffered like aura humiliation, and when that happens to you, dude, you have to just go and live in a cave.
yeah, like
Look at him
it's
crawling
more
through
about
those-
like how like drippy you are like during the fight and like how well like you're looking and presenting than like your actual like capabilities. And the second you lose that and your fucking cape falls off or like you kind of barely dodge something and get scraped, it's just like your ego
You're
is just
done, dude.
fractured and
You're
you're just
done.
not the same.
Yeah, you can't show your face in public anymore after that. Jake, didn't you have a point still?
I was just gonna say about JJ and Ryan Johnson. Like, if you watch any other movies, you kind of realize these were not the guys to adapt Star Wars because
Ryan
they
Johnson
are
more than
both
JJ.
guys. Yeah, they're both guys who enjoy weird mystery thriller, and in JJ's case, sci-fi stuff. They enjoy weird, very deconstructive, very postmodern storytelling.
For sure.
Like they're both of them, their storytelling screams postmodern. It screams like subverting expectations, which is
100%.
fine. Like it's fine. You know, personally, I don't think J.J. Abrams is a very talented storyteller. I've never really
I agree.
enjoyed what he has to offer.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Johnson does well with like what he does. Like Knives Out is like a decent film, I think. His episode of Breaking Bad that he directed, Fly, was really good.
Dude. No,
But
aura.
they
Zero
just
aura.
weren't the guys to adapt Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, they were just the wrong picks. Like, if anything, they should have brought Steven Spielberg in to like do the Star Wars sequels.
He wasn't gonna do
honestly. Well, yeah, why not?
it. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because he is a guy who likes classic storytelling.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, he enjoys bringing in stories from like a bygone age and telling them in a modern
I
context.
think the way that they went about getting those guys was like very like simple minded. Because I think they looked at
Yeah.
JJ and they were like, well, he revived Star Trek, so let's get JJ. And I think they
it has
looked
the word
at
star in it.
yeah, and I think they looked at Ryan and he was like, well, and he did that sci-fi movie. Like, what's the name of that movie?
I don't feel like Star Wars fans were really asking for that much. Like, I mean, we're really weren't in this new. Nobody was asking for a new trilogy, to be honest. Like,
no, we weren't, not at all.
What was the name of that?
but like,
that
if
Ryan
you're gonna
Johnson
do
movie?
it, like, just do a good job. You don't have to do an amazing job.
With Bruce
just like
Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, Looper.
Looper. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think they just
yeah,
looked
yeah.
at them and they were
Oh,
like,
I
well, they
forgot
both
he
did
did that.
sci-fi, you know.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like Star Wars is more mythology. It's more like fantasy. It's fantasy in a sci-fi skin. Star Wars isn't even science fiction, honestly.
I'm still-
It,
Yeah,
it
do you
has
remember-
sci-fi
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
mechanics, but it's not a sci-fi story. Because science fiction is about technology.
Yeah.
You know, it's about, but Star Wars isn't about technology. The technology is an afterthought.
It's about
Nobody gives a
humans.
shit about how the lightsabers work. It's
yeah.
about it's myths. You know, but What were you gonna say, Jack?
I was just say, you remember playing the Lego Star Wars saga and
Oh
Mustafar
yeah,
climbing that
Those are
mountain
amazing.
in Mustafar? It's like going down, and you'd
yeah.
both had to make it.
Oh hell yeah.
Ah, it was so
Yeah, you had to like
nostalgic.
work together as Anakin and
Yeah,
Obi-Wan.
yep. Which makes no sense for the actual story, but
Shout out to Lucas though for this choice here of like having them fight on a lava
Yeah, it's pretty
planet,
sick, dude.
symbolizing Anakin's descent into hell. I love the symbolism.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it
So
is
good.
great. You know, because Anakin was here though even before he fought Obi-Wan. He was here when he was slaughtering those separatists,
Separatists. Yeah.
and it's symbolizing that he's gone to hell. You know,
Oh, the high ground.
Here's the birth of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
my power.
Ego.
Don't do it, bro.
Don't
It's gonna
try
cut.
it.
It's gonna cut you.
He's gonna cut you into pieces.
Zoop.
Oh,
And
fuck,
there he
dude.
goes.
There he goes.
Fucking chicken nugget now.
It's like, dude, don't try me. I'll cut your legs off.
Bro looks like a McDonald's chicken nugget.
Yeah, it's
And then he
terrible.
just
It's,
lights on fire.
he's literally at rock bottom. It's terrible.
I was saying, see, that's the other thing. I don't know if you guys like watch and pay attention. He doesn't even touch the lava. How the fuck does he light on fire?
I think his
He doesn't
leg
even
goes
touch
in
the
there.
lava. I don't think
think
they
his-
do.
His stump goes in, right?
I
Let's
might-
see.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he does not even touch the lava. I might be stupid.
Well, it's kind of like when you put a marshmallow like near hot coals,
cooking.
it'll still light. You don't have to touch them, but
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That
because
might
the
be-
lava's
that's-
so hot.
I think that's what it is. We'll see, right? The fact that Obi-Wan doesn't put him out of his misery here is so bad, dude.
Well, it costs us
It's like, dude, go-
3 more movies.
Well, he probably just thought he was gonna fucking bleed out or something. I guess.
there it
Yeah.
goes.
I guess yes. Yeah, he does. Okay. I mean,
He
there,
hit the-
there are like
he hit the
burning
coals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
my
See,
God.
He really should
Poor
have killed
judgment on
them.
my-
It's like, dude, where
But
can
it's
this guy
also, I
burn?
feel like, symbolism where it's like the Jedi let shit get in the way of them like doing the right thing based on philosophy, where it's like he could easily put him out of his misery, but like it's like quote unquote
Yeah.
against his code, so he'd rather see like his apprentice suffer that than to like go against the Jedi code, which is kind of fucked up. But like,
Oh yeah.
Just let him. It's like, I'm leaving. now.
Yeah, it's almost kind of, dude, what you just said, Jack, is actually almost, if you really want to read into Star Wars a weird amount, it's kind of like a weird euthanasia kind of philosophy, you know? It's like,
yeah, oh yeah,
it's like, what do you do? You know? It's like Obi-Wan was like, well, he's unarmed. I can't kill him. And it's like, dude, he's on fire.
yeah.
So, to like kind of like wrap around, I think
Oh, yeah,
I'm
he's
not
cool,
gonna
right?
lie. I will do Rise of Skywalker the slightest. I mean, like slightest bit of justice in 2 different scenes.
Uh-huh.
One of them being towards the very end when they're all like cornered in like a fucking bunker, which is one. Lock ourselves in like a bunker. But like whenever like all of the like AT-ATs are all like lined up across the whole horizon, that is really cool. I really like that scene. You know what I'm talking about, dude?
Did that happen in
It's
Rise of
cool.
Skywalker?
Yeah, that was the last one. Because remember when Kylo Ren's like in like the head ship or like the head like AT-AT, and he's like
No,
fire.
that's Last Jedi, right?
No, I thought that was the like the 9th one. That was number 9.
No, that's Last Jedi, because then Luke comes out, right? And
Yeah, and he's like
Kylo Ren.
yeah. And
they're
then
on,
they
the
just have,
salt,
like,
they're on the
nothing.
salt planet. That's Last
Yeah.
Jedi.
Is it?
Yeah, but I agree that is a dope
Huh.
scene.
This guy's
I mean,
I
kind
always-
of. There's
I
some
always think
story
of, like-
problems, but
Because technically Luke isn't there. Because he doesn't have like footprints, and he like deceives Kylo Ren. I just feel like that's like a pretty cool, like, I guess like 15 minutes. But that's probably it of all three of those movies. That's really the only like cool thing that ever really happens.
But the
Yeah.
power scales are just doesn't even make sense.
They're not.
Dude.
They're not even close. Yeah, it's
Like-
not. They're
Like
terrible.
even Luke falling off Luke should just no diff. Like either of those people, like he's just no diff Kylo Ren in my mind.
Yeah, and then it turns out he's just a force projection ghost
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's like, well, it doesn't even. You weren't even fighting Kylo, Luke. You're a coward, Luke Skywalker,
Yeah.
coward. Everybody.
Yeah.
Howard. Well, it's kind of like the same thing that Kenobi did earlier in this movie.
God,
Whenever he
they
was
dragged
talking to
Luke
those
through the
guys.
mud.
Oh, here comes the birth of Vader.
Yep, there he goes.
I do like this this sequence here, how they do the side by side, the birth of Vader and the birth of
Yeah.
Luke at the same time. It's kind of cool.
Well, and
Luke
the
and Leia.
the Imperial shuttle also is kind of like a foreshadowing of like the future like Empire fleet as well. Because that Imperial shuttle that's used in that scene is very much in like the other three.
Yeah, that's true.
For reasons we
For
can't
reasons we
explain.
can't. He's like, for reasons we can't explain, but might have something to do with the fact that she got choked out by her husband,
Medically, she's
cutting
completely
off
fine.
the blood supply
And then his
to her,
best friend
to her
killed
brain.
her. Killed him.
Right. That's kind of lame though too. It's like they try to retcon it where they're like, oh, she's just kind of like dying of sadness. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it's pretty
Wait,
stupid.
it should be. It's more poetic. It would be more poetic with Anakin just kind of being the reason she dies.
Yeah,
That's
agree.
that's supposed to be the tragedy.
Yeah.
It's like Lucas couldn't decide which one to do. Oh God.
Why are you seeing so much pain? Did they give this guy some like pain relief stuff or something?
Nah, Palpatine's like, you need to experience this for being a dumbass.
It's got to give him pain and hate. He's trying to pump it into him.
So this one's name says what was the guy in the first movie's name? Luke.
This one's named Han Solo.
no, wrong one.
So,
What the hell is that droid saying? It's talking like baby talk or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I have subs on and there's no subs for it.
there are no subs for it.
It's giving me subtitles and it's just baby talk.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Here goes the mask.
Here it goes. This score is great right here.
Yeah, this part's cool.
Ugh.
They didn't even Palpatine didn't even give him some face cream.
So just
No,
put it, just
hell
put it
no.
on him.
Put him in there raw.
So we're not gonna
Seal
do
him
like
in
any like
there.
surgeries on this guy or like heal his wounds. We're just gonna put this shit on him.
There it is.
Just metal helmet on open wounds. It's probably not the greatest idea.
Oh sure. Well, they should die thinking that.
Believing, yeah.
The guy went on to like be an evil dictator for like 20 plus years.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's funny? They retconned this a little bit though, because in Return of the Jedi, Leia mentions that she remembers her mother.
Yeah.
Here's Darth Vader.
No.
There is some cool dark shit in this movie. I gotta say, just this whole like demonic birth scene, you know, of Vader being born.
Immediately, where's Batman?
Oh God. He's like, oh, how do you know that, Emperor Palpatine?
You
Did you read the
killed
script?
It was alive. I felt it. Damn, he's like just the whole like yeah, this part is so cool. Just his mere anger is just crushing everything.
And then Palpatine smirking behind him. Just so horrible, dude.
Yeah, he's just smirking.
Oh God.
No.
No. You know what's funny? When I was a kid, Darth Vader screaming no did not bother me.
That was
It
rough.
didn't. It didn't bother me. Like when I was a kid, people hate on it, and now I'm like, oh yeah, that's stupid. But as a kid, I thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, he's upset.
Yeah,
He's sad because
it's dead.
his wife went bye-bye.
Fuck, I forget this guy's name.
Miguel Prado, dude.
Not his actor
That's not the actor. That's
name. That's the actual.
that's the character in Dexter that he plays.
Yeah.
Jimmy Smits is the actor.
Ah,
I don't even know his name. It's something Organa, I think.
Organa.
right?
Yeah, it
Because
is.
that's Leia's last name, right?
Yeah.
Leia Organa.
Lando Calrissian, I heard.
Oh my god.
God, that was a
That's
drug
so funny.
thought.
Looks absolutely nothing like.
No,
Not even
not at
close.
all.
There's not even a resemblance.
God, good lord.
You put them next to each other and you're like, I said, is that the same person? Your old master, Qui-Gon.
Whereas, like, why didn't you teach me that up until now, though?
What if it's just
Obi-Wan's like,
What if it's just like?
Obi-Wan's
shit,
like, do I have
hate
to
it,
follow
Qui-Gon."
you to the swamp world? And Yoda's
Yeah.
like, yes. And Obi-Wan's like, well, actually, I think I'll just like go somewhere else.
I don't think I'll just sit this one out.
I'll just chill on Tatooine for a while.
Here's I think Jar Jar's in this scene again, right?
Misa not happy.
Yeah. There he is, dude.
God,
There he is.
Why even include him in the background? Like it's like he didn't even have a line in this movie.
There he be.
And then this is George Lucas's whole Citizen Kane type thing that he's got going here. Oh shit, that's what Anakin carved for her in the first movie. I just saw like
fuck.
I was preparing for this commentary, so I was watching some prequel clips, and he carved that for her in the first movie when he was a little simp kid, simping over her.
Hey, I mean, hey, look, listen.
I
when
would
you're
too.
like, I would say when you're like 7 years old and you see Padme, are you not
Generational
going to do the
baddie.
same things?
Oh yeah, dude, Natalie Portman.
Oh, dude, come on.
Come on, yeah,
Okay.
huge crush as a child. She was probably my favorite. She was definitely my favorite part of the prequels when I was a kid.
Diamond. Jack, what are you doing over there?
Nothing.
Natalie Portman, fine actress. Okay, so this
Okay,
is probably a good time for me to. I wanted to talk a little bit about that Sinners movie that I saw. So I saw
Oh, yeah.
Sinners. That's like the movie of the day right now.
Yes. I have
Ryan
not seen it, though.
Coogler, Sinners. I saw it in theaters. Here's what I'll say. I'll give my brief thoughts on it. I liked it, but it didn't really meet my expectations. Like I heard, so the hype was so massive for that movie.
I hate hype.
Yeah. So I'm kind of the opposite of everybody else or a lot of people in the sense that most people especially the people who are a little mixed on the movie or who really liked it but were pointing out the flaws of it or whatever, they were like, "Oh, the first half is really slow, but once you get to the vampire action and the carnage in the second half, that's when it gets great. And if you can just be patient, it's worth it." I actually felt the opposite. I thought the first half of Sinners was phenomenal.
Is that the one with Michael B. Jordan in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's in
Yeah,
theaters
you
right
got
now.
this bluesy Southern Gothic vampire thing. Um,
Interesting.
and oh, here we go. That's the credits. Boom,
Hey,
and
the
we're
movie.
done,
written and
everybody.
directed by Giorgio Lucas.
We made it all the way.
Well, we made it, everybody. But anyway, that's my overall thoughts on Sinners. I thought the first half was phenomenal, and I actually didn't think the vampire stuff was all that great. I didn't think it measured up to like, because I think about a movie like 30 Days of Night, for instance. Not a great movie, kind of average, but the vampire carnage is pretty awesome. And I didn't think like as far as vampire gore carnage goes, I didn't think Sinners really measured up to something like that. But as far as the drama, the setting, the character development, and everything goes, really good. And I thought the first half was actually phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt the opposite, where I was never bored in that first half. Everybody says like, oh, it was kind of slow. It took a very classic approach in terms of like, like you watch classic horror movies, like those first two Alien movies. You don't see the alien until the 50% mark.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the original Hellraiser, you don't see the
Yeah,
Cenobites until the end of the second act. You know what I mean? But and so it was like that. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed everything up until we got to the monsters, and then I felt like the movie kind of took a took a shit, and then didn't really know. And then the ending too, it kind of didn't seem to know how it wanted to end. So it was kind of a mixed bag. But I will say that first half, that movie has stuck with me, and I've been thinking about it a lot over the
Interesting.
past few weeks,
Yeah.
and I do want to watch it again.
Yeah.
But that first half was incredible. Michael B. Jordan is an actor for the ages, man.
He's
Like
a
that
good
guy is
guy.
awesome. Yeah, he played twins in this movie, and they were like the coolest. They were like very much like classic. They felt like very classic gangster characters, just super super cool. Like I felt like when I watched him on screen, I felt like I was watching Sean Connery and James Bond or something. Like he was just so cool, dude. And yeah. So I've been thinking a lot about Sinners over the past couple weeks. It's a movie that sticks with you, and I do want to give it another watch.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the first half, and I adore blues music, by the way.
Yeah.
I adore blues. I love blues music. I love rock and roll, but going even further back to blues, which is the roots of rock and roll. I love blues, and the fact that they incorporated blues and the lore of blues into a horror film was so freaking cool to me. But yeah, overall, I would recommend folks get out there and see Sinners in theaters before it's out of theaters.
Yeah, I think it's
getting
getting pushed out now with Thunderbolts, because I think Thunderbolts has like has some IMAX screenings too.
Yeah. Marvel's always always hijacking
Always pushing, but
theaters.
you guys are gonna go see Thunderbolts?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna go see it
Probably.
next week.
Nice. Dude.
Yeah.
that was a great movie, dude. That was a great.
I'm
I
gonna
was
hold
talking-
you to that.
I was talking to Jack about it, and I'm not gonna lie. Like, the newer Marvel movies. I don't know if I'm assuming. I mean, I feel like everyone kind of has a very similar take. After Endgame, a lot of the newer Marvel movies have really not been that good,
Mhm.
Agreed.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Thunderbolts, I feel like really like laid the line of not only was it a much better movie than what we've had very recently, but it completely opened up so much stuff, man. And like, I know I'm a very big Star Wars nerd, and I was talking to Jack about this, but like when it comes to Marvel, dude, like, oh my gosh, I've read so many comics. I know so much stuff about the MCU, and the stuff that they brought into Thunderbolts has completely paved like trying to think of like the word for it. Like there's so much stuff that is soon to come that I am so excited for. Like the fact that Sentry and Void are here means that something insane is about to happen, because I mean, dude, freaking Richard Reynolds is literally the One Punch Man of the MCU. He is the broken, unstoppable person. The like you literally can't kill him. You cannot kill him.
We were
So
talking about One Punch Man last week, actually.
Yeah, just run a 10K, do some push-ups. I mean, if your hair falls out, whatever, man. But like, you know,
literally. I mean, dude, and obviously, you guys have seen the new Venom movie, right?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't.
sucked.
Yeah, so
Blew fucking so hard, in my opinion.
yeah, but
Yeah, Jack
dude,
and I went to see that.
bringing like the fact that they brought Null in, literally, like I was watching that movie. I was like, man, I was like, Void's gonna have to come in at some point, because within the comics, there's a massive clash between the two of them. I don't know if you guys like are like kind of
Void
like
and Null.
yeah, Void and Null, and I obviously you'd have to read the comics to kind of like understand it, but eventually Void takes over uh uh Richard Reynolds, and is like that's just who he is for a
Dominant
very
personality.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
just who he is for
Kind
a
of like
like
the
a very
whole
long
thing
period of time.
where Bruce Banner has that like Gladiator Hulk era where he's just Hulk
Yep.
all the time.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, like the whole Ragnarok situation.
Yeah.
And eventually Richard Reynolds was able to like it's not even him, it's one of the Fantastic Four are able to like banish Void from him and erase people's memories and stuff like that of him. But somehow eventually Void kind of comes back into play somehow and fuses with Null, because Null is also like kind of like the birth from this whole, because his name's Void, but it's like a thing, kind of like trying to think of what that band name is. Sleep Token. Sleep Token, they're all
I
of their
like Sleep
music
Token. I'm a fan.
You like Sleep Token? Man,
You're not
Jake,
a
come on.
fan? I like Sleep Token,
No,
man.
dude, Sleep Token is terrible, man. I'm not gonna
What?
lie.
Sleep Token's dope, dude.
Nah, that's
Some
insane.
great. That's a great metal mashup right there, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh, shit.
But you're talking about
Um,
like Vor, like they have all that lore kind of
like yeah, like
woven
you know
in.
how like Sleep Token, their
Yeah.
whole thing is this whole sleep thing. Like I've done because they're like this whole thing. So I've done my research on it. Like I have to have a reason to not like a band. I can't just be like, oh yeah, this band sucks.
Yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah.
like so I did like I did my research. I've read all sorts of articles and like Reddit subreddits and stuff like that about like the band, and like I can understand like the whole like basis around it being like this whole sleep thing. It's pretty interesting. It actually is, but I just don't like their music. I think that the way that they interpret this whole thing like within their music, I don't prefer it. But that's kind of like what this whole Void thing is. That's what it reminds me of. And yeah, eventually Null and Void like become one, and that right there is something that I would have a very hard time seeing the Disney making a reality, because I don't even know what they would do at that point. Even if they
Okay.
followed the comics, there's nothing that they can really do to like beat
Bring it
that.
back. Yeah.
There's just nothing you can do to beat that. And it's crazy to even think about that, because I mean eventually that's where the comics go, and it kind of like just bottoms out at that point, because there's really nothing you can do besides try to extract Void from Null and then somehow kill Null,
You
even though
don't
he's
think
like
you
one
don't
of the
think they
most
could
powerful cosmic beings.
you don't think they could like go back in the timeline and grab Tony Stark and he'd fix it all?
I mean, yeah, sure, yeah, they could do some MCU BS that they usually do.
God.
Yeah, sure.
They write,
So
dude.
this
They
is
really
kind of
write. They write themselves into corners, man.
the one thing,
And see,
Lucas, that I want to ask: is there any timelining in the Thunderbolts, or is it grounded?
no, there is no timeline, which made me very happy, because that's what they've done in
No,
all the other
like
movies. It's like
you
there's
mean
just
no
been a
like
bunch of
time
garbage.
travel. You mean no time
Yeah,
travel,
no,
multiverse stuff. Okay,
none of
that's
it.
good.
None of
Thank
it. It's
God.
it's a good movie, dude. It's a great movie. But on top of it being the great movie, they have paved the way for amazing stuff to come. Like they're coming out with that Ironheart TV show, which is going to be awesome because the Hood's going to
Ironheart
be in
sick.
that.
Yeah.
Ironheart is awesome. Obviously they're coming out with the new Fantastic Four movie, which I mean, I'm not gonna be that guy, but I
I saw
don't
that
like the
trailer.
idea of. Dude, I don't I don't love the idea of seeing a Human Torch not being Chris Evans. I that's just what I think of. You know, Human Torch is Chris Evans. He's awesome.
Well, he
That's
was
just
he
who he
was
is. Play him
Chris
on.
Evans is eclipsed and become Captain America, though, so I think that
yeah,
that
but
role
he
is
was also
up to somebody else.
Michael B. Jordan. Talk about Michael B. Jordan. He was Michael B. Jordan like 10 years ago
That's true.
in Final Four
He
Stick.
was. Dude, that Fantastic Four trailer, man, I watched that. That looks like it looks like a parody of a superhero movie. It looks like
It looks like the Jetsons.
anyone exactly. Well, that aesthetic I didn't mind, but like it looks the way the line deliveries and everything were the way the characters were delivering the lines that or the actors I should say were delivering the lines in that trailer and everything. It felt like if anyone out there is a fan of the show The Boys, like it felt like a Vought Productions, like an in-universe movie in the show The Boys that like the company in the show The Boys makes. It's kind of a niche reference, I guess, if you haven't seen that show, but it just felt like a parody of superhero movies. So I don't know about that one, man. We'll see.
That's so unfortunate because Fantastic Four is awesome, and there's so much untapped potential there for me.
I'm a big fan of
Yes,
Pedro
I don't know.
Pascal playing Mr. Fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, I like him as an actor. He's pretty cool. I think he would. I think
Yeah.
he's
He's
gonna play
everywhere though right now.
Mr. Fantastic pretty well.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of that guy. He was in
Yeah,
he's The Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
That's him.
yeah, and I've been
That's
kind
a
of.
good show.
It's a pretty good show. I haven't watched the latest couple episodes, but man,
I
there's
haven't
like
either.
so much I've been trying to talk about on this show, but like we never get to it. But yeah, like I gotta catch up on Last of Us because I saw episodes 1 and 2. 2 was a great episode, but
It was.
but okay, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's that's Revenge of the Sith, everybody. I'm like having brain fog. It's from the fucking whiskey, man. That's Revenge of the Sith, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed our little commentary here. Lucas, thanks for being on the show,
Thank you for being
man.
on the show,
We appreciate you coming on.
I
This was
appreciate
fun,
y'all having
dude.
me on.
You're welcome to be
Yeah,
back
it was
whenever
a
you
lot
want,
of
man.
dude.
fun. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, come back anytime, man. We like your perspective has been really awesome, dude. But yeah, really glad we got to have you on for this one. With this, but I know this movie means a lot to a lot of people, man. I know it has a special place in my heart for sure. But thanks everybody for joining us for Revenge of the Sith. Edward, what you got for us for?
Jack's
No,
got
wait,
next
is
film.
it's Jack's week next week?
Yep.
Do you have a pick yet, or
Yep,
you
it's
still
Jack.
thinking, man?
So I'm gonna actually roll with something I hadn't thought about it much, but
Oh.
I'm going to opt for a rewatch of Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Well, then
I'm gonna
Lucas, you have to
roll
come
with it.
back.
I haven't
I'll have
watched
to come back on.
I haven't watched that movie in so long, and that conversation sparked a real interest.
Lucas,
in
you have
me
to come
watching
back
again.
next week, man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually,
Tune in.
honestly, I have been actually wanting to watch that trilogy again. So yeah, let's do
Let's do
we'll
it.
do Fellowship then. Let's do it, man. All right. Well,
We're gonna
that's,
have to make a movie night of it, Jake. We're gonna have to do that because that is a long commitment.
that is such
I
a long
can't go through
commitment.
that myself.
100%.
That's 3 hours, isn't it?
But yeah, that's next week, everybody. Fellowship of the Ring. Thank you all for listening to the Revenge of the Sith commentary. Next week on Film Tangents. Bye bye.
Next time, everybody.
Later, film tangents.